on the clock. Pecan, 2 seconds. Pecan for the lead. Got it! He got the record at the buzzer! The break for three. Buried! Gallagher pulls up. Gallagher rims it out the field. Slams it down. Cooley up ahead. Dombrowski, the freshman, off the window and one. Let's go back to Evans. Corner three. Got it. There's Lowe with the exclamation point as Dunny slams it down. Far side, Dawson unloads, knocks it home. Jenna Dawson. By Teslavich, Epps puts it on the floor. Bryce looks to drive in, Epps floats it up, got it! He got it! There's 1,000 for Bryce Epps. Crosstown rivals 6 miles apart meet from Elizabeth Forward High School as we get set for the 3A Interstate Conference Championship here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. EF Belle Vernon brought to you by All Dry Services here this evening as we get set for one of the marquee matchups inside the WPIAL by 2 of the top teams in 3A in what very well could be a battle for the 1 seed here this evening. Alex Lyons alongside me, Spencer Lynn, for all the action here this evening and what should be a great showdown. For the first time since 2015, we get EF and Belle Vernon in a regular season game. Belle Vernon 6-2 on the season. 2 early season losses for the Belle Vernon Leopards came at the hands of one of the 4A favorites, the McKeesport Tigers, one of the 5A favorites in Penn Trafford earlier this season, but Belle Vernon, a team that once they have got into 3A have been absolutely lethal on the season. Belle Vernon inside the 3A classification, averaging 51 points per game, while their defense giving up just 3.5. And in general, Belle Vernon the best defense inside of 3A. And Spencer, EF's offense, they're not a slouch either with guys like Zach Boyd and Zion White leading the helm.
Yeah, both teams have really rolled right through this conference without really facing much resistance. I think tonight, Belle Vernon will be the best team that EF has played all year. Belle Vernon has played some better competition, playing against those 4A and 5A schools that you mentioned. So I think, they'll be able to put that experience to good use here tonight. And for EF, this is really their biggest test of the season. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond.
Yeah, Elizabeth Ford, one of the best offenses inside the entire WPIAL, as you can see on your screen there. Elizabeth Ford, the first scoring offense in 3A, number 4 in the WPIAL at 40.9 points per game, as these two teams absolutely lethal. The second highest scoring offense is Belle Vernon, second highest scoring defense is Elizabeth Ford, but you look at this EF offense, a big difference between that and Belle Vernon. Elizabeth Forward, very two-dimensional. Deep through the air, over 1,700 yards with Zion White when you have a D1 receiver, and Zach Boyd makes life easier. And then you add Charlie Niggett and Kelly Rush to his disposal as well. On the other side, it's a heavy ground, though, so only 800 rushing yards for the Leopards, or passing yards for the Leopards this year. But when you have Quentin Martin backed up by Jake Jedico, it is a tall task to meet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the big keys to the game for Belle Vernon's defense, I think, will be to get pressure on Zion White. They can't let him sit back there comfortably and pick apart the secondary. I think if Belle Vernon's able to get pressure on him, it's going to make it a significantly tougher night for the Warriors.
Zion White, of course, gave up basketball last season, tried to focus on football, improve that very tight-knit Elizabeth Forward group. They feel like this is a team of destiny, a special team. Penn West California pregame show here on MVI Live as we continue on, but it's a close-knit group, and it's going to be a next man up mentality today. No Chris Climbs, the transfer from Brownsville, all conference last season. Offensive tackle, defensive tackle. So slide Dylan Winters, the left guard, to right tackle. Keyshawn Murphy-Givens will move to that left guard position. And then on the defensive line, you're going to see Dylan Winters and Grant Robinson, and maybe even a little bit of Johnny DiNapoli trying to clog up that defensive tackle position. And for Belle Vernon, they're not completely healthy as well, still without the services of Evan Polott and Tanner Moody, who are two big pieces and cogs of this Belle Vernon team. So, obviously you want to get in here, get the win, but you also want to get out of here healthy, getting ready for the postseason.
Yeah, I think one of the big matchups to watch tonight is going to be that battle of the trenches. EF has a really strong defensive line led by Charlie Mealib, Jordan Wilmore, and then, you'll have Grant Robinson and Zach Winters taking over for Chris Climbs tonight. Chris Climbs being out, that's going to be a significant factor for Elizabeth Forward's defense especially.
Absolutely. He is a man that can absolutely stir the pot. As last meeting came back in 2015 between these two schools, it was won by Belle Vernon 54-0. Belle Vernon has won the last two meetings. They are 5-4. Last time the Warriors won was at Belle Vernon in 2013, 35-13 as Belle Vernon. Both teams have been kind of looking to this game since the schedules were released. For Belle Vernon, you still had TJ, you still had Laurel Highlands, you still had McKeesport. But this game came out in the schedule. It was circled immediately. And as soon as Belle Vernon moved down to 3A, everyone said, oh, they're the top dogs of the Interstate Conference. Everybody has said that besides two teams. It's the two teams on the field. EF says the Interstate runs through them. Back-to-back champions, won 4 of the last 5. It very well has. Belle Vernon says it's theirs till we knock them off, and they want to prove they are worthy of being the top dogs of the Interstate Conference and most likely get that number 1 seed in the 3A bracket.
Yeah, I know both coaches all season long have preached, one game at a time, 1 week at a time. But, even in the back of both of their minds, this game has been the one that, they were putting in extra work in the offseason for, watching extra film for, probably weeks ago started breaking down film of their opponent for this game. Even though, to the players, they have to tell them, hey, stay focused on the task at hand. We both know with Coach Humbert and Coach Colati's mindset, they've known all along how important this game is and how pretty much both seasons would come down to this game. Like you mentioned, for the Interstate Conference Championship, both teams are fighting for that number 1 seed in 3A. The winner will definitely get that number 1 seed. The loser will likely be the 3 seed, just depending on what the committee decides to do. But yeah, it's no secret that this has been the game in the back of everybody's mind all season long.
Yeah, talking to both coaches throughout the week and here this evening, some interesting thoughts. Coach Mike Colodi, very excited, very ready to go for this group. And these are two guys that know each other well. They're good friends off the field. And, Coach Colodi said, what's better, Friday night for all the marbles against one of your buddies? It's a great way to have it. And, he said, this is why you play high school football. This is what I've been telling my kids. This is why we play the game. This is why we do it, for moments like this, for opportunities like this. And the question is, are they battle-tested enough for this opportunity? We know Belle Vernon is. And talking to Coach Matt Humbert before the game, I said, Coach, isn't kind of the reason you do that? You play a Laurel Highlands. You play a Thomas Jefferson. He said, talk to me at 10:30, and I'll tell you if that is why we play one of those teams or not. So let's see if that tough schedule, that battle-tested, really does come into the thick of things here for this Belle Vernon team against the Warriors this evening. As we will take one quick break, come back, and continue on with the Penn West California pregame show as we get set to start this one here on MVI Live and the School Sports Network.
Bring together expert faculty, offer programs in high-demand fields, add in a few centuries of tradition. You might call it the future of higher education. We're calling it Pennsylvania Western University. We've combined the resources of California, Clarion, and Edinburgh to create a new way to educate, where opportunities are boundless and tomorrow is yours to define. Built on tradition, built for your future. Welcome to Penn West.
Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. The right brands, price, and advice since 1946. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress is the Mon Valley's choice for selection, service, and savings for over 75 years. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. You're going to like us a lot. We guarantee it. A grand old entrance for the Warriors as we get set for Belle, Vernon, and Elizabeth Ford, presented by All Dry Surfaces here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Sirens flashing, smoke flying as the Warriors get set to take the field. As Zion White, the senior quarterback, leads the way. Elizabeth forward. They have 3 stud wideouts. It's a great defensive backfield for the Belle Vernon Leopards, one of the more intriguing matchups we will have here this evening. And, you know, we've talked about if anybody has a backfield that can, or a secondary that can compete with the wideouts the Warriors have, it is Belle Vernon. 5-star #1 player in the state, Quinton Martin. Imagine a heavy dose of him on Zach Boyd tonight. Kelly Rush on the other side. He'll meet Diabre Lightfoot, the freshman, who has the potential to be an absolute star according to his head coach. Then Charlie Niggett. Maybe he will get a nice dose of Anthony Cruz, the former Monessen product, as we get set for this one. And, you know, great game for guys to prove himself, especially a Zach Boyd, Division I prospect, no major D1 schools. Big night against Quinton Martin can change that.
Yeah, if you're the Warriors, you have to make somebody other than Quinton Martin beat you for the Leopards. They have to limit the big plays. It'll be really, really interesting to see that Zach Boyd-Quinton Martin matchup tonight. You mentioned Zach Boyd with an offer from Marist, and then I believe he has an offer from Clarion, Mercyhurst, and Walsh as well, Division II schools. So yeah, it's a big-time matchup. Yeah, the Warriors just have to make somebody else other than Quinton Martin beat them tonight. I mean, Belle Vernon has, you know, Evan Polot's out tonight with a leg injury. So yeah.
And I'm almost a little bit surprised. EF did win the toss. They did defer. I kind of thought they'd want that offense on the field early on, but if that's your MO all season, and I think, speaking of special teams, I think that's a huge thing to watch here as we go on into this game. That's one aspect of the game where you can't play your matchups. And Zach Boyd is one of the most electric return men inside the WPIAL.
Yeah, I think tonight with everything that's on the line, I would imagine both teams have all their starters on special teams. You know, typically special teams, especially at the high school level, is reserved for backup guys, maybe some underclassmen, some freshmen, some sophomores, things like that. But tonight, you have all your starters. You have all your best players on special teams, every unit. Too much on the line otherwise.
Jake Jedico and Quinton Martin back deep to receive. Logan Beadle will get set to send this one away. Belle Vernon, gold pants, green trim, white tops with green numerals. The all-black jerseys with red trim and white numbers for the Warriors. As we are teed up, we are ready to go. Everything but the clock. Still showing 48 seconds, so wait for that to adjust as Logan Beadle gets set to send the 3A Interstate Conference Championship underway. Foot meets ball, and here we go. It's a onside kick, and it's recovered on the near side. That's Colton Lee, as trying to trick the Belle Vernon Leopards was Beadle. As a flag flies, Colton Lee again with the recovery, and barring that penalty marker, excellent starting field position for the Belle Vernon offense.
Yeah, it looks like EF had a reason for declining that opening coin toss win. They had a plan all along.
A unique one, almost you get that. Is it a shank? Is it an onside kick? And the way he did that, so high up, and it went the distance. Just Colton Lee was the first one there.
Yeah, it looked like it was supposed to be a surprise onside or a surprise pop kick, but yeah, man, that really backfired for EF. Not how they wanted to start the game for sure.
So an onside kick attempt, Lee recovers, and then a 15-yard penalty on EF. Sets things up 1st and 10 from the Warrior 36-yard line. Locks quick out to Martin, breaks the tackle. Martin cuts far side. There goes Quinton. See you later. One play, touchdown Leopards. Quinton Martin for 6 from 36.
Yeah, if you're Belle Vernon, why not put the ball in the hands of your best player on the very first play? Yeah, no surprise there.
36 yards, breaks the tackle of Zach Boyd.
I mean, that was really just a 10-yard comeback route, and Braden Lau got him the ball in space. Quentin Martin made one-man miss and cut it all the way back across the field for the touchdown, and it is 7-0 Belle Vernon, 13 seconds into the game.
Schwera knocks through another one this season, and disaster for Elizabeth's forward, perfection for the Leopards. 36-yard Braden locks to Quentin Martin.
If you're the Warriors right now, it's all about how can you respond to getting punched in the mouth 13 seconds into the game. They can't panic. They still have, obviously, they have a great coaching staff, great players. They just have to stick to their game plan and, bounce back from this.
Charlie Meelib, Keyshawn Murphy-Gibbons, Grant Robinson, Richard Prokup, and Dylan Winters will have the honors of trying to protect Zion White here this evening and try to open up some running lanes for whether it be Johnny DiNapoli, Jordan Wilmore, Charlie Niggett, as most likely seeing Zach Boyd get his first touch of the football. 16-second drive, or 16 seconds into the game, I should say. It was a little less than that on the drive-wise, as actually went just 11 seconds on the drive. That's what happens when you start trying to write stuff down and talk at the same time, but hey.
And my number one rule is never do math in public, so.
I always tell people I was good at math, then I started doing communications, and it all went downhill from there. As Willie Schwera has it teed up for the Leopards, up 7-0, 11:47 remaining in the opening quarter. Willie Schwera, a short kick to the up man. That's Johnny DiNapoli at the 25. DiNapoli runs across the field, and Jake Jetico tracks him down. No gain on the return for DiNapoli.
Yeah, great pursuit by Jetico there. Obviously, Belle Vernon's plan is to keep that ball away from Zach Boyd. They were deliberately trying not to kick that deep to him.
Great way to kind of help neutralize that special teams prowess that Zach Boyd has. Zach Boyd, Kelly Rush, Isaiah Turner, all going to see serviceable time at the wide out position. As out on the near side, it's Rush to Napoli. Far side, Zach Boyd, Wilmore in the backfield. Zion White gets the snap, looks the throw, fakes it, now steps up. Here goes Zion, up over the 30, and he's hauled down there. As in the middle, it's Dom Sasko. Gain of 5, make it 6, 2nd and 4 for the Warriors.
Yeah, it looked like his primary read was covered up there pretty well. Pocket collapsed on him, and he just took off up the middle, got 6 yards out of it. That's a great play by Zion White there to make something out of nothing.
Big matchup to watch off the edge. That is Braden Locks, the quarterback, against Charlie Meelib. 6'4" versus 6'5", two big, strong individuals. As handoff goes to Niggett. Niggett cuts it right side, outside the number. First down and more over the 40. As Charlie Niggett pushed out by Chase Rakonen. First down, Warriors.
Yeah, EF has a couple different guys that can carry the ball for him. Charlie Niggett, there's their speed guy, and then they have Johnny DiNapoli and Jordan Wilmore too. Little thunder lightning combination there.
Niggett over 200 in both rushing and passing. Zach Boyd just 12 yards away from a 1,000-yard senior campaign. Two back set, twin receivers near side, one receiver far side. Zion White. And there's some movement up front and a false start on the Warriors.
False start on the offense.
As we'll see Jace Brown check into the game, replacing Charlie Niggett. Jace Brown taking over that H-back role this season that was made so effective last year by Johnny DiNapoli. Johnny DiNapoli, of course, holds the freshman passing record at East Allegheny when he was a quarterback there. Moved over here, standout linebacker, and H-back is more movement, and another flag and another false start.
False start on the offense.
Yeah, it's interesting. They have DiNapoli in the slot here. That's typically where you'd see Charlie Niggett. just, different game plan that they're going with tonight.
That was one of the more surprising things when I got Coach Colodey's starters, that he had Charlie Niggett as his RB1. Zach Boyd lines up far side. Near side, Isaiah Turner, Johnny DiNapoli. Two-back set, pistol formation. Handoff up the middle. There's Jordan Wilmore. Tries to cut it back, and he's tripped up after a gain of 1 by the interior of that defensive line as Steven Macheska knocked him down.
Yeah, great penetration there from Belle Vernon's D-line. Elizabeth Ford, they're really not off to a great start here. I wouldn't be surprised if you see them take a shot to their man, Zach Boyd, deep here.
Quentin Martin out on Isaiah Turner. They have Jetico on Boyd, so see if they try to take advantage of that matchup as White looks to throw. Boyd open across the middle. White pressure coming. He'll step up. White up over the 40, and he's going to be about 2 yards short of the initial line of scrimmage, but Zach Boyd did have a step on Jetico in the middle.
Yeah, Boyd did flash open there for a second. It looked like Zion White was already to run by that point. Still good on him for making 7 yards out of nothing there.
3rd down and 12. Clock rolling under 10 at 9:50 here in the first quarter. Zach Boyd far side, 3 receivers near side. Jace Brown the back, most likely in there for blocking purposes. As Zion looks to throw, goes up top looking for Kelly Rush, and Rush pushed back from behind. It's Diabre. Lightfoot make that Anthony Cruz on the coverage. I think Rush wanted the flag there.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact there. Kind of happened pretty quickly. Right around the same time that the ball arrived. I could see that one going either way. Belle Vernon got the benefit on that one.
9:37 clock stop. Ball at the Warrior 41. As Charlie Niggett on the punt here for EF. Niggett sends it away, takes a hop at the 30, bouncing back to the 20. Quentin Martin lets it roll all the way inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line.
There's a really good roll there for EF. I thought Quentin Martin was going to take a stab at that when it started bouncing up towards him, but he let it go, and EF gained maybe another 15, 20 yards of field position.
Quentin's known to have a risky repertoire when it comes to fielding punts. Had a man in his face at TJ, backpedaling at the 5-yard line, ended up taking that one 95 yards as EF. Their defense has been on the field for one play, gave up a 36-yard score. See what they have in store here on this drive as we'll see Braden Locks in the gun, Quentin Martin to his left. 3 receivers near side for the Belle Vernon offense. Locks looks to throw, screen pass, chase Rakonen, and Rakonen's going nowhere as Zach Boyd comes across to spin him down after a gain of 1.
Yeah, good pursuit there by the Warrior defense. That's the key to stopping those quick screens like that, is just everybody, all 11 men on defense running to the ball, and that's exactly what EF did right there.
9:03 rolling clock, 2nd down and 9, 7-0 Leopard lead. Important drive for the defense of the the Elizabeth Forward Warriors, trying to force a stop here, keep it a 1-score game. Zelensky in motion. Handoff, pulled back. Braden Locks on the quarterback keeper. Runs over Rush as he tumbles over short of the 20 at the 18.
Yeah, Braden Locks making the decision to keep that one on the zone read. It ended up being the right decision. 3rd down, 1 yard to go. It is interesting, like you mentioned before, DiNapoli playing nose guard right now on that Elizabeth Forward Warrior defense.
Normally a middle linebacker, but all hands on deck under center. Locks will try to get it himself, falls forward as the second effort does indeed pick up the first. As Johnny DiNapoli forced the center Luke Pryor back, using that 6'5" frame, he was able to just fall forward on the right side of the line. Alonzo Way checking in. Alonzo seeing a bigger and bigger roles as the weeks go on, of course, helping fill the void that Evan Polott has left. Pistol formation, Martin the back, Locks gets the snap. Handoff Martin, first carry of the game for Quentin. Flag flies as Quentin down the near sideline. Martin, he's gone. wait on the flag as Quinton into the end zone once again from 80 yards this time. But again, laundry on the field, and this one looks like it may be coming back.
Yeah, Brayden Lyle's saying it's going to be on. That is, it's going to be on Elizabeth Forward. So touchdown stands for Belle Vernon and Quinton Martin. Wow.
80 yards for Quinton Martin.
Face mask on the Warriors. Well, yeah, I thought just based on where that flag was thrown, I thought for sure that was going to be holding and coming back, but ended up being a face mask call on the Warriors, and that, 80-yard touchdown from Quinton Martin
80
stands.
yards. Schwerer on to attempt the extra point. Schwerer 36 of 39 this season. And Elizabeth Ford has taken 2 punches to the mouth on 2 big plays by Quinton Martin, down 14.
I mean, we both said it right away, is that EF has to make somebody other than Quinton Martin beat them. And, the first 7 minutes of the game, that's not gone their way. Quinton Martin has been the one. 2 long touchdown runs already.
Belle Vernon and Elizabeth Ford here on MVI Live, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network is brought to you by All Dry Services of Ross Draver and Fay West. They're opening November 7th. It can serve a number of issues, including mold remediation, 24/7 emergency water and flood restoration, medical and trauma scene cleanup. For more information, visit myalldry.com. All Dry, we expect the unexpected. Elizabeth Ford's played about as bad of a first half of a quarter as you can, and Belle Vernon's done everything right. 3 penalties, all against the Warriors. A botched onside kick attempt, really, or actually 4 penalties, I should say. 2 false starts on offense, the special teams one, and then the one that wasn't accepted on the 80-yard touchdown run by Quinton Martin.
Yeah, now as a result, Belle Vernon's going to kick off from the Elizabeth Forward 45-yard line. So, I mean, it's going to get even worse here for EF. I wouldn't be surprised to see Belle Vernon do some type of surprise onside kick here, just based on where they're kicking this ball off from. They're not going to sacrifice much field position.
Yeah, you figure they would send it down to the 25 anyways, or into the end zone from this position with Willie Schwerer. So, got to expect the unexpected. There it is.
Surprise.
Off somebody on the Leopards' near side, and Elizabeth Forward is able to fall on the football, as coming up with it is Alex Potts.
Yeah, if you're Belle Vernon there, why not go for the surprise onside like that? 1, you keep it out of Zach Boyd's hands even longer, and 2, you already have really good field position.
7:35 remaining here, opening quarter, 14-0 Belle Vernon, thanks to Quinton Martin. Can the Warrior offense, the number 1 offense in 3A, find a way to get on the board? White in the gun, 4 receivers set. Jace Brown the back, White looks to throw. Zion White going up top, Zach Boyd has a step and he's overthrown. As Boyd got behind Quinton Martin, but Zion White just too far.
Yeah, Boyd did have a step there initially. Quinton Martin did a good job to recover, and he made Zion White have to make a very accurate throw for Boyd to have a chance there.
14-0 packed crowd here this evening. The Warriors trying to give something for the home faithful to cheer about. Almost had a home run there. It's been 2 by Martin as Charlie Niggett going nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage is Dom Sasko in there with Dane Levi.
Yeah, I don't think Elizabeth Ford is going to have much success running the ball against Belle Vernon tonight. I think that their best bet is to go through the air.
Yeah, honestly, the only successful run plays they've really had is improvising by Zion White here tonight. And it's checking into the game for the Warriors is Isaiah Turner. He's on the far side for the Warriors. 3 receivers set. on the far side. Boyd near side working on Martin. White pulls it down, tries to get away from Locks and Will over the 35, and he's going to be wrestled about 2 yards shy of the first down. And it's going to be 4th down for Elizabeth forward. No movement right now on the sideline.
8-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, there is some more improvisation success there from EF, an 8-yard run for Zion White. Like you said, that has been their most effective plays really all night. It's just him out there taking off whenever the pocket collapses. And then now looks like EF is bringing on their punt team.
Another short drive for the Warriors as they'll hand the Belle Vernon offense the ball back, barring any trickery here. We've already seen some attempts at that tonight. Charlie Niggett, there it is, right on cue, but Niggett meets Jake Jetico. No gain. Belle Vernon ready. The junior Jetico. Turnover on downs, and the Leopards looking to go up by 3 scores.
Yeah, Belle Vernon's sideline just erupted there too whenever they stuffed that fake punt. All the momentum in the world right now on Belle Vernon's side. If you're EF, you need a stop here, or this is going to get out of hand.
Another short field for Belle Vernon. Short field, long field, short field now. It hasn't made a difference thus far. 2 Quentin Martin scores, 1 from 36 through the air, 180 on the ground. Quentin Martin, the best in the state for the class of 2024. Locks looks to throw, has Jetico.
On the wheel route. Touchdown.
See him, Jetico. Another one, and the Leopards saying the interstate does run through us.
Running away with this one early.
Jake Jetico. Big stop on 4th down, and then gets into the end zone on the next play.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I did not see this one coming. Obviously, it's still very, very early in the game. But I told people all week I thought this was going to be a close game, a closer game than most people would have thought. But yeah, it doesn't look like I was correct so far.
The Belle Vernon offense proving they have the star power. Belle Vernon, their losses again, 4A McKeesport. McKeesport is one of the best offenses in the WPIL. They are the best defense in the WPIL. Belle Vernon gave them their best game of the season thus far. Take something that probably should have beat Penn Trafford if you're Belle Vernon. But you look at that. They shut down a McKeesport offense, which is Jameel Perryman, Bobby Boyd. They're shutting down Zion White and Zach Boyd so far here tonight. They have the athletes. They have all the talent. And now that those early season learning curves are gone, they're showing why everyone thought when they were coming down to 3A it was going to be a dominating performance by them.
Yeah, that early season experience playing against that great competition is really paying dividends right now. You know, like we said, Belle Vernon is definitely the best team that EF has seen all year. EF, I don't think, is the best team that Belle Vernon has seen all year, and we are, experiencing that firsthand right now. In addition to those games that you mentioned, you got to go all the way back to August and remember the Belle Vernon scrimmage, Franklin Regional and Gateway, 2 of the top teams in 5A right now, so they really are battle tested. And again, shorter kickoff here, deliberately keeping it away from Zach Boyd, which I think is a great strategy.
So 1st down and 10, the Warriors offense, they need something. They need to give this team some sort of life, some sort of spark, especially with them getting the ball to start half number 2. And obviously it's still the first quarter, so plenty of time to work. You get a score, you get a stop, and you all of a sudden find yourselves maybe back in a football game. Yeah,
if you're EF, you got to find a way to get the ball in your best player's hand. That Zach Boyd, maybe run him on and end around, or just a quick push pass. But yeah, he's got to get the ball in his hands. Matched up against Quentin Martin here.
Zion White, handoff. That's Niggett going outside. Niggett spun down there, stays on his feet, and then slammed down for a loss. As Niggett tried to get the edge, and Belle Vernon's defense, led by Aiden Johnson, knock him down.
Yeah, if you're the Warrior offense, like I said, you've got to get a way to get Zach Boyd the ball. And I know it looks like he's matched up one-on-one with Quentin Martin. I think they need to run him on a jet motion, and Zion White can just flip him the ball in the backfield to see if Martin runs across the formation with him.
One-on-one, no help over the top with Zach Boyd as they're leaving Quentin to go to work. Twin back set, Zion White fakes the handoff across the middle. No, it's Niggett. There's Charlie Niggett. He has speed, and he's spun down by Adam LeCarte. First big play by the Warrior offense.
That's exactly what they needed right now. They needed a splash play to steal some of that momentum back and, show the rest of the team that they're not going to go away that easily.
White to Niggett for 29. Big play there, and it almost looked like a little hesitation towards the middle, and Zach Boyd and Niggett out of the backfield. He is a speedster, plays much bigger than his size. As Zion White handoff, Jordan Wilmore tries to bounce it, but the Belle Vernon defense, they do a great job in pursuit. It's Colton Lee finishing off the stop. You're not going to beat Belle Vernon to the sideline if you're EF, it looks like here tonight.
Yeah, I think that was Aiden Johnson stringing that out initially, and then Colton Lee came in to finish it off. That's great defensive line and linebacker play right there from the Leopards.
Colton Lee, of course, also a flame-throwing left-hander for Coach Tony Watson and the Belle Vernon baseball team. As Elizabeth Ford, after the big play, they go backwards. Man in motion, Kelly Rush, he can fly. Now misdirection, Johnny DiNapoli goes down for a loss.
Great play.
Colton Lee again.
Knifing in right through the middle of that Warrior offensive line to bring DiNapoli down in the backfield.
Lee had 3 TFLs on the season. He has 2 on back-to-back plays there, and it's 3rd down and 14. And if you're the Warriors, at least you want to get 5 or 6 here. You got 2 downs to get 14 yards.
Yeah, definitely 4-down territory for them at this point.
3 receivers far side, 1 near side. Zion White to throw. They're setting up the screen, and it's almost intercepted. Braden Locks read it like a book, and it was almost pay dirt for the quarterback. As Braden Locks, the two-way star, almost got his paws on the football for an interception.
Yeah, Braden Locks being a quarterback himself, he knows exactly what a quarterback looks like when he's throwing a screen pass like that. So he did a great job as soon as he realized that. He retraced the steps, and he almost got himself an easy interception there.
And setting up the screen, that was a great way to get half of that at least minimum and get yourself into a 4th and manageable. As they'll go up top, quick pass. It would have been 6, but Zion White overthrows Zach Boyd. And a turnover on downs.
Yeah, they just missed that one by a couple inches. Man, both of them would really like to have that one back. Belle Vernon's going to start here on their own 40 with, pretty good starting field position already.
Belle Vernon 3 for 3 on drives tonight. Not many probably saw this coming. Belle Vernon thought this would be their game. They thought that EF wouldn't have a chance, but Quinton stripped away, and the Warriors say they have it, do they?
Yes,
they do. It's Johnny DiNapoli, the spark plug of the Warriors.
Yeah, EF needed that. They needed Belle Vernon to make a mistake. Let's see if they can capitalize now.
Johnny DiNapoli from that D tackle position where he's filling in. The strip and the recovery. So 1st and 10, Elizabeth Ford after the turnover.
If I'm Zion White, I'm going to Zach Boyd right now on this.
Zach Boyd has got separation. Very impressive how he's played. They just haven't matched up. Play action. Boyd overthrown again. Pressure in the area with LeCarte and Martin.
Yeah, they keep running Zach Boyd on that slant. I think he's had more success in getting separation when he goes vertical, though.
Second down and 10, 2:51 remaining here in the opening quarter. Reminder coming up at the half, the Planet Roof halftime interview with Elizabeth's forward offensive defensive lineman Charlie Mielheim, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. Zion White in the gun. White gets the snap, handoff, Johnny DiNapoli. DiNapoli trying to push forward, gets over the 35, down to the 33-yard line.
Vernon with the tackle for the Leopards.
Chase Rakonen stopped DiNapoli in his tracks, and that was probably the best running back run of the game by the Warriors.
Yeah, DiNapoli's a hard runner. EF's just had a hard time getting a push up front against Belle Vernon's defensive line.
Yeah, no Chris climbs, which means you move Dylan Winters out of the middle onto the edge, so it's more than just a one-position effect. White looks to throw, goes up top, he has Kelly Rush, he got it at the 5! Kelly Rush runs by Anthony Cruz, first and goal, Elizabeth forward.
Yeah, that's just a great throw and catch there. Zion White put that ball where, you know, even great defensive coverage didn't make a difference. He put that ball on the spot, and Rush goes and gets it for a big play for EF down to the 5-yard line. Now they need to punch this in.
First and goal from the 5. Can the Warriors cash in off the turnover? They've been oh so close on hitting that home run ball a couple of times tonight. Finally do, first and goal. Zion White all alone. Spread formation, now Charlie Niggett into the backfield. Zach Boyd one-on-one near side, 2 receivers far side. Kelly Rush almost in the tight end position for Elizabeth Forward. Man in motion. Handoff, faked. Zion White, end zone, touchdown, Kelly Rush! And the Warriors do indeed cash in off the Martin turnover as White and Rush finish it off.
Yeah, a lot of window dressing there from the Warriors, moving people around pre-snap to try to confuse that Belle Vernon defense a little bit, and then they were able to sneak Kelly Rush kind of into the flat there for a relatively easy throw and catch.
Big touchdown there. Mielheim the snap, Niggett the hold, Beadle the PAT is good. Huge drive by EF when everything looked like it was going against them. They finally cash in for 6 and make it 7 with the PAT.
Yeah, that fumble recovery from DiNapoli ended up being huge there. Stealing some momentum back from Elizabeth Forward. You know, as Quentin Martin was coming off the field there, I saw him tapping his chest, kind of saying, "My bad," on that fumble. So, you know, look out for him on this drive. I think he's putting some pressure on himself to respond.
Quinton with 2 scores already today, 36 and 80 yards, and then the turnover. Still a 2-score Belle Vernon lead, and we're in the first quarter, 28 points on the board.
And if I'm EF, I do not kick the ball to Quentin Martin right now.
Man who has a chip on his shoulder, wants to get that back. Quentin Martin, a phenomenal individual, more than just a great football player and great basketball player. You know, I've had the privilege of talking to him multiple times throughout the course of his high school career so far. And, you know, he really gives everything he has to this sport. And, you know, when he makes a mistake, he wants to do everything he can in his power to get it back. They try it again, and they fail again.
That'll be another penalty, too. Well, maybe not, but, yeah, EF, I'm not sure what they're doing with these kicks. I know they want to keep it out of Quentin Martin's hands on special teams, but these weird pop kicks aren't the answer.
Just drill it to the sideline,
yeah,
and, I mean,
you're
in better shape or something.
Squib it down the middle, and, you know, I don't know.
Right now, that's not it for EF.
No.
You finally get into the end zone and you give the Leopards the ball at midfield.
Yeah, you're either giving them great field position or getting a penalty on yourself. I think keeping it away from Quentin Martin is smart. I just don't think that's the way to do it.
EF's defense needs a big stop after the short kick. It's Jedico. Flag flies as Jedico keeps the legs churning, picking up 4. We'll wait to see what the laundry is. Kelly Rush on the stop for the Warriors with some help from Alex Potts.
All start.
Legal formation against the Belle Vernon Leopards will march them back. 21-7, Belle Vernon on top of EF. See if the Warrior defense off the penalty can find some sort of life here. Belle Vernon looking to win their third in a row. As looks like maybe a misformation here by the Warriors, but up the middle goes Jetico back to the original line of scrimmage before breaking a tackle. Keeps his legs churning to the near side. A hard run by Jetico makes it second and short.
Yeah, really tough run there. It almost looked like he was down. I think some of the Warrior defense might have thought he was down, and he was able to stay off the ground and kept going.
So instead of being 2nd and 10, you're looking at 2nd and about 3 yards.
Tackle for the Warriors. 2nd and 3.
Braden Locks gets the snap, fakes the handoff to Martin, takes it himself, holding on the edge, sprung Locks.
2 flags now.
As Brown got toppled down after the play. I don't think that's anything, but it was a clear-cut hold as Jace Brown was trying to break free.
On the offense.
Belle Vernon has been clean until this drive is 2 penalties in 3 plays. As that will cancel out the first down and make it 2nd down and
Call it 6.
yep, 6 yards. Wait to see where they're marking it back from off the hold as we get Jetico in the backfield, Martin out on the near side, guarded by Zach Boyd. 1 receiver far side. Locks, handoff, Jetico, and Jetico met but keeps the legs churning. Could have been no gain, instead it's 3. Tough man to bring down is Jake Jetico. Jace Brown was the man who did so.
On the tackle for the Warriors.
I think Belle Vernon will let the quarter expire here.
3rd and 3.
21-7, the Belle Vernon Leopards on top of the Elizabeth Forward Warriors after 1. 21 straight to start by Belle Vernon. EF answered with a couple of their own. When we come back, we'll have for 2 for you right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Game of the Week presented by All Dry Services right here on MVI Live and Trib Live High School Sports Network. Planet Roof, Pittsburgh's top roofing company, goes above and beyond to give customers the best experience possible. At Planet Roof, we pay close attention to the quality of our work in your home. Our roofers are committed professionals with years of experience who will go above and beyond for all of our clients' needs. Because at Planet Roof, we love what we do. For more information, contact us today at 724-243-3297 or visit our website, planetroof.com.
Bring together expert faculty. Offer programs in high-demand fields. Add in a few centuries of tradition. You might call it the future of higher education. We're calling it Pennsylvania Western University. We've combined the resources of California, Clarion, and Edinburgh to create a new way to educate, where opportunities are boundless and tomorrow is yours to define. Built on tradition, built for your future. Welcome to Penn West.
Back here, the Warriors and the Leopards here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, brought to you by All Dry Services here on the final Friday of regular season football. 3rd down, quarterback, keeper, Locks breaks a tackle at first, but goes nowhere, a loss of 1. The front 4 stiffens, Charlie Mealibe leading the charge with some help from Christian Kennedy. And see what Belle Vernon decides to do here. I don't see Willie Schwerer. Instead, it's Braden Locks from the sideline.
Yeah, aggressive decision here from Coach Humbert.
Big play for the Warrior defense. Do they have a stop in them? Hey, are they trying to draw them off sides at 4th and 5? As Coach Humbert stepping out on the field, and he will take a timeout here. So Belle Vernon uses their first timeout of the game and gives us a chance to tell you about our friends at West Meeting Center. West Meeting Center is perfect for birthday parties, weddings, showers, baby showers, business meetings, and any other family event located in West Elizabeth. Visit their website, westmeetingcenter.com, or find them on Facebook, West Meeting Center Rental Hall, located in West Elizabeth. Fourth down and 5, Willie Schwera out to punt now. Will be the first time we'll see him attempt to punt today, if that is indeed the case. High snap, Schwera reels it in, sends it away end over end, takes a hop down to the 10, down to the 5. It's a beauty. Willie Schwera's punt down around the 6-yard line by Chase Metz.
Yeah, great special teams execution right there from the Leopards. Pinning Elizabeth forward deep here on their own 5-yard line.
First stop by the Warrior defense today, or this evening I should say, as we are just in quarter number 2. And again, the Warriors a chance to get back within 1 score.
Yeah, long way to go here. EF's going to either have to put a drive together or get a big play from one of their skill guys.
Pistol formation, Zion White hands it to the deep back. That's Johnny DiNapoli, the wrecking ball up the middle, as he will pick up around 2 yards on the play as the POW was pushed forward by Keyshawn Murphy-Givens. Dane Levi, the man who brought him down.
Yeah, DiNapoli and Jidoka, they have similar running styles. They're both fun to watch run. They are physical, old school, tough to bring down.
Yeah, Jake Jedico. Any other program, by far, number 1 running back.
Absolutely.
He just happen to come in and be the same exact grade as Quentin Martin.
Yeah, but from everything I hear too, it seems like they enjoy sharing the limelight. They enjoy watching each other succeed.
Split back set. Zion White, quarterback keeper. He maybe gains 1 out to the 10-yard line. About half a yard by Zion White. No holes were open. They were filled by Dom Sasko and Parker Jewell.
Brings up 3rd down and 6.
3rd down and 6 from deep in Warrior real estate. 9:55 remaining here in quarter number 2. 21-7 Leopards lead. 2 Quentin Martin scores. 1 by Jake Jedico. Kelly Rush, the Warriors tally. They have Quentin Martin on their 3rd receiver here. See if the Warriors can take advantage. Pressure coming. There's Zion White. Zion throws it up. Almost intercepted, then caught by Isaiah Turner.
Flag. There is a flag down.
Zion White may have crossed the line of scrimmage. That may be it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It was almost intercepted, made its way to Isaiah Turner on the near sideline, but Zion White might have crossed the 10-yard line as the circus catch and 1st down might be coming back.
Yeah, wild play there. That one had a little bit of everything. See what the call is. Yep. Zion White was across the line of scrimmage when he threw that.
And you could tell he kind of double clutched thinking and then just chucked it up there.
Yeah.
Hoping for the best as circus catch, no. Punt, yes. From their own 10, 9:28 remaining.
This is going to be a tough one for Elizabeth forward. Punting backed up in their own zone. Quentin Martin deep to receive. Looks like we got a timeout now.
Charlie Niggett has to hope maybe a friendly roll. Former soccer player, maybe a rugby-style punt towards the far side, and hopefully he gets a roll like he did the last time if you're the Warriors. The circus catch would have been a 1st down, but does not happen. Low snap, Charlie Niggett, a short end-over-end punt. Martin fields it, loses it on the turf, and a Leopard jumps on it just outside the 25 at the 26.
Oh, let's see what
they did.
See who comes up with that now.
They originally pointed Belle Vernon football, but now a POW, so we'll wait to see. A Leopard was on it first. after Martin had that one kind of fall short. Now the Warriors saying they have it. Frustration by Alonzo Wade outside the pal.
I mean, this shouldn't be hard to figure out. Let him wrestle over it. Whoever comes up with the ball gets the ball. And they're pointing, one ref's pointing to Belle Vernon. Yep, there it is.
Belle Vernon does indeed avoid disaster. That's Diabre Lightfoot, the freshman, jumping on the football. And when you get those short punts like that, it's real tough to field it because you're trying to come up and your blockers are already on you, and that's what happened to Martin. It kind of just bounced in front of him.
Yeah, a lot of traffic there. Belle Vernon was fortunate to dodge a bullet, and they're going to end up with really good field position.
From the EF 26. Once they've been backed up deep in their own end, they went 80-plus yards, 80 yards on the Martin score. On what was a 91-yard drive. Martin in motion, locks to Jetico, breaks a tackle in the backfield, now bounces outside, gets away from another. Flag comes flying in, and Rush pushes him out.
The ball carrier.
Yeah, I think that run's going to come back. Not
Everything was flags on the play.
flags in the area of holding, maybe.
We thought that once, though.
Yeah, true.
I'm done speculating tonight, I think, after Quinton's 80-yard touchdown run that we thought. I think even he thought it was.
Yeah.
He saw flags and just kind of like, all right, and then all of a sudden. Is indeed against the Belle Vernon offense.
Blocking the back on the offense.
Again at the half, Planet Roof halftime interview. That was with Charlie Mead. Really appreciate getting to know a little more about that young man. Did it same spot I'm standing in right now. Did it yesterday, so really appreciate Charlie doing that. Great interview, so make sure you stay tuned at halftime for that. You will not be disappointed. We relive a lot of some great moments from Charlie's career, including a buzzer beater game-winning 3 over TJ last basketball season, so make sure you join in for that one at the break. Braden Locks rolls out, bootleg, Locks, and he's sacked! It's Charlie Niggett!
Great play by Niggett there to come up and chop Braden Locks down.
David takes down Goliath, 5'6", takes down 6'5".
And very quickly, that great field position that Belle Vernon had just kind of disappeared as they're backed up almost to the 50-yard line.
Second down and a country mile for the Leopards offense. Alonzo Wade, Quinton Martin, Chase Raconen far side. Near side Lee, one-man backfield next to Braden Locks. Locks gets the snap. There goes Jetico up the middle. Jake Jetico bullying his way.
Run.
And Jetico out to the 30. Make it the 29 on 2nd and 28. Jake Jetico picks up 16, but Jake Jetico is slow to get up. Not what the Leopards want to see. He has been a problem tonight.
Yeah, that tough running style, I guess, you do have to be careful sometimes of when you are that tough of a runner. Sometimes you're too tough for your own good. Based on some of the reactions from some of the Belle Vernon players, it looks like this could be a serious one. Jetico's still down.
See if I can hear where they're looking at. They're not really.
Looked like upper body, maybe a shoulder.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in with the binoculars. Not working on the legs. It looks like up that towards that region, and not what you want to see. Jake Jetico or anybody, doesn't matter who it is. You hate to see this for these individuals, and that. Can you pan over here on the near side of the field? So you see these two young gentlemen there. They know exactly what their teammates feeling. That's Evan Polott. That's Tanner Moody. They've been out for a decent amount of time here this season. And, we hate seeing it that these guys aren't able to play. Now it's a guy like Jake Jetico. But, really hoping the best for Jake Jetico and this Belle Vernon team. I mean, it's been a tough season with injuries, obviously, for them. But you never want to see a guy go down.
No, absolutely. Looks like he's getting up to his feet now.
And a lot of discomfort is Jake Jetico.
Well, maybe it is a lower body. Looks to be limping a little bit, but
that also, it looks like they're kind of favoring that left arm. It might be multiple things on Jetico here. That left arm is just hanging, it looks like. Does not look good for Jake Jedico. Really hope the best for the young man. He has been.
Yeah, when you run the ball as tough as he does, like I said, sometimes you can be too tough for your own good.
Now Belle Vernon has to come out 3rd down and 13 after the big run that injured their star junior tailback. They have 2 star juniors, the other one to the right of Braden Locks. Locks gives it to him. It's Quinton up the middle. Potts meets and breaks the tackle of Potts. But the EF defensive line holds after a gain of 4 by Quinton Martin. Christian Kennedy on the stop for the Warriors.
5-yard gain on the play brings up 4th down and 8.
4th and 8, and another big sequence here for the Warrior defense if they can get a 4th down stop.
Yeah, it looks like Belle Vernon is going for it here. Let's see what they decide to do.
Schwera's only attempted 1 field goal, definitely out of his range. He is 0 for 1. And looks like maybe some movement here. No, a timeout.
Timeout, Elizabeth forward.
As EF will burn their first timeout of the half. Belle Vernon and EF brought to you by All Drive Services here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. All Drive Services of Ross Draver and Faye West. They're opening November 7th and can serve a number of issues, including mold remediation, 24/7 emergency water and flood restoration, medical and trauma scene cleanup. For more information, visit myalldry.com. All Dry, we expect the unexpected. And we'll have more action here on the network for you tomorrow afternoon. For those of you who've been keeping track with our playoff coverage, we will be up in North Catholic tomorrow at noon start for the Thomas Jefferson Jaguar volleyball team as they will take on Montour, as both Tanner Moody and Evan Pollard, again, the 2 guys we were telling you about dealing with injuries, have made their way down to the bench where Jake Jedico is being attended to. Those 2 know exactly what their teammate is going through right now. 4th down and 8. Locks in the gun, Cruz the back, 2 receivers set. Locks looks to throw, flag comes flying.
Flag on the play.
Did he just signal a false start against the defense?
That's what it looked like. Obviously, it doesn't make much encroachment. Okay. It did look like he did the signal for false start.
I was a little confused there at first, but that's going to go against the Warriors and make this probably a lot easier of a play call when you have a guy like Quinton Martin, and now you're only 3 yards away from a first down.
Down and 3.
So from 4th and 8 to 4th and 3, Zelensky in the backfield with Cruz and Quinton Martin. Braden Locks, handoff, it's Martin, first down, and he will be stopped right there. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
Matt Humbert saying first down. And
yep, there it is. The ref signal to move the sticks.
Penalty proves to be indeed costly on the Warriors. And Elizabeth Ford, knowing the aggressiveness that Coach Matt Humbert has in his style of play calling, that they could still get out of this without a field goal attempt and without a touchdown. Because I think probably up by 2 scores field goal is probably not really in the realm of thinking for Coach Humbert and the Leopards. They've only attempted 1 all year. Locks in the gun, Martin in the backfield, 2 receiver far side, handoff, Martin up the middle, Martin breaks through, Martin hopping towards the goal line and stopped at the 1. Quinton goes for 15.
And Isaiah Turner saves a touchdown there for now. Good shoestring tackle to prevent Martin from getting into the end zone, but Belle Vernon quickly back to the line of scrimmage here in that same formation that they just used to get the first down.
Locks, handoff,
Same
Quinton.
Same play, other way.
As Quinton times 3.
Martin is across for the Leopard touchdown.
Yeah, Belle Vernon went right back to that same play that they used to get the first down a couple plays ago. Just ran it to the other side this time, and relatively easy run there for Quinton Martin to get into the end zone.
(27-7), Willie Schwer to attempt the extra point for the Leopards. Stieber, the holder, kick is up, and the kick by Willie Schwer is good. 28-7 now in favor of the Belle Vernon Leopards. And if you're Elizabeth Ford, you kind of get into the thought process now. Okay, we need to find a way to score before the half. And even if we can take all 5:55 off the clock, get into the end zone before the break, and then we get the ball to start and a chance to get back to possibly a one-score game. Big 4th down penalty. Took it from 4th and 8 to 4th and 3, making life a lot easier for Belle Vernon. And Jake Jedico on the sideline shaking up. And on that drive, it was a 2nd and 28.
Yeah. You said 2nd and country mile.
And all of a sudden, Belle Vernon caps another drive off with a Quinton Martin touchdown.
Let's see if Belle Vernon still keeps it away from Zach Boyd here. I would bet that they do.
And what Belle Vernon's done on their kickoffs, EF's, even though Boyd may not be the caliber of athlete, he is just as dangerous on returning. And they've done a great job keeping away without having to jeopardize field position.
Exactly.
Schwerup, there's a kick out to DiNapoli around the 30. Hook and ladder, there goes Boyd.
Yeah, I like the call from EF there. I think, EF kind of anticipated that they were going to keep it away from Zach Boyd, kick it right to DiNapoli again, and they kind of came up with their own answer to that, and it worked relatively well. EF's going to have decent starting field position here.
Yeah, trying to pull out all the stops here, down by 3 scores for the 2nd time in this one. 5:51 remaining here in the half. From the Warriors 37, they will start.
I mean, that was really one of the only times Boyd's touched the ball tonight.
It might be the first he's truly got it in his possession.
They have to get him the ball. I don't care what they have to do. He needs the ball in his hands.
Fake run by White, looks to throw now, pressure coming. Zion throws it towards the EF sideline and out of play.
Zion White's pass is incomplete. 2nd and 10.
And fake the run, and then Zion White looked back up, and all he saw was white jerseys and gold pants in his face.
Yeah, good decision there to get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
28-7, the high-octane defense of the Leopards has kept the #1 scoring offense in 3A to just 7 points here in the first half. Twin back look, 2 receivers near side, 1 far side, Niggett in motion. There's a jet sweep, shovel pass to Niggett.
Didn't work.
Trying to do anything they can.
Yeah.
Pulling out all the stops, but Belle Vernon's been ready at every aspect.
Yeah, and I think that right in the middle of that Belle Vernon defense, that Belle Vernon defensive line, I think that's a tough place that EF is trying to move the ball. And I think their best bet is to get it outside right now.
And Belle Vernon, their defensive front 4, think of it like a college defensive front 4.
Yeah.
They rotate in and out 10 players in that defensive line. And I think that's a lot of learning that Matt Humbert had from playing Coach Chirpak and Thomas Jefferson, who would always do that, and that's where Belle Vernon, we always get killed by TJ in years past. Now you see a heavy rotation there. Zion White going up top, looking for Kelly Rush. He adjusts. He got it again. What a catch by Kelly Rush, taking advantage of the sophomore Anthony Cruz.
Yeah, that's a great catch by Rush there along the sidelines. He went up to get that too.
29-yard pass completion. That's an EF first down.
White to Rush. Kelly Rush is a pure sprinter. Track athlete as well at EF.
And he showed some jumping ability there too.
This past summer, Kelly Rush was running a 4.1540 at some camps in Texas.
Wow.
The speedster on the edge. White, quick out. There's Zach Boyd's first reception over the 30, and he's tripped up there. It's Alonzo Wade knocking him down. As Zach Boyd inches closer to 1,000 on the season. Gain of 4 there. He's just 8 yards away from the 1,000-yard mark.
It was a good tackle there by Wade. He saved that could have been a significantly bigger play if he didn't make that tackle there.
Would have most likely been an easy first down for Zach Boyd there. First year back in football for Alonzo Wade, and he's become a starter on both sides of the ball. Had a game-sealing interception against TJ this year. White looks to throw. He wants Boyd deep. Help over the top. Boyd adjusts. 1,000 and a score for Zach Boyd. He goes over Rakonen. He goes over LaCarte, and he goes into the end zone. 28 yards, a touchdown, and 1,000 yards for Zach Boyd on the season.
That's what EF's been missing all night. That was Zach Boyd making his first big impact on this game, and it came right when EF really, really needed it, shortly before halftime, to get them back within a reasonable deficit.
As Beadle puts it through the uprights, lead back to 2 scores. 28-14. Back and forth here after Belle Vernon scored the first 21 points of the game. A big response there. Kelly Rush, another huge reception, adjusting over Anthony Cruz, and then Zach Boyd. It took till this drive to get the ball in his hands. They did it twice, and he found his way into the end zone.
Yeah, and Zion White with 2 big throws there as well, giving his guys 50-50 balls, and him trusting his guys to go and get them, and they did it there in both of those scenarios. And that last touchdown throw, he did have some pressure in his face too. Dane Levi and the Belle Vernon defensive line got through. Zion White stepped up and made a good throw with pressure in his face to give Zach Boyd the shot on the 50-50 ball there.
Yeah, that was the first time we've seen them put safety help on as well. It's normally been one-on-one with Boyd there, but they kind of switched, put some safety help, and LaCarte's been a menace to opposing wide receivers, just absolutely leveling people from that free safety position. He was able to go over him and Cruz on the near side. Or Rakonen is. That's a little better for Beadle.
That's a lot better.
Still going to be good field position for the Leopards.
It's a great return.
As near side, it's Doppelauer around Turner. Beadle's beat, but spins him out. Cole Doppelauer. Just when we said it was better, maybe it's not. Cole Doppelauer, a big answer.
EF cannot win on these kickoffs tonight. They're having trouble with whatever they're trying to do every time.
First and 10 BVA from the EF 30. Again starting deep in Warrior real estate. That's been a theme. Chase Rakonen in motion. Locks, gets the snap. He goes to Rakonen. Rakonen gets the edge, and he's knocked down after a gain of a yard by Charlie Niggett.
Great open field tackle there by Niggett.
Charlie Niggett, an individual that plays much bigger than his actual body size. We've seen it throughout his entire freshman year, whether it was on the football field, whether it was on the basketball court. Charlie Niggett just at 5'6" plays all heart, and it shows in the way he's able to tackle these much bigger targets out there.
And only a sophomore too, that's impressive.
There's Quinton up the middle, wrestled down after a gain of 2 yards. Quinton Martin averaging almost 9 yards per carry this season. Probably mainly because of runs like that 80-yarder. He has a 79 as well this season, as that was his longest run of the year, that touchdown earlier today. Third down and 7 here for the Belle Vernon Leopards. 2 downs to get it. 2 big downs for the Warrior defense. Trying to keep it at worst a 2-score deficit going into the half. Quinton Martin motions out. Locks, takes it himself. Braden bounces right to the middle. Christian Kennedy gets in there with some help.
Christian Kennedy in for the tackle for the Warriors.
As first contact was made by Charlie Melib. Talking to Charlie, that's one of his favorite things, being the first one to say hello to the quarterback in the backfield. And that's what he did there. Big 4th down play. Do the Warriors have a stop? And they have time with 2 timeouts if they get it to maybe get the ball only down by 1 to start the second half. Some big plays here upcoming in this one.
Yeah, I'm surprised EF not taking a timeout here with 2 left.
Coach Humber, I think, content running the clock down, but I think
Yeah.
also Coach Mike Colodi respecting what Belle Vernon's offense has done all night.
Yeah, interesting chess match here between the 2 coaches.
As we do get a timeout by Belle Vernon.
Timeout, Belle Vernon.
This gives us another chance to thank our friends at West Meeting Centers, which is the perfect location for birthday parties, weddings, showers, baby showers, business meetings, and any other family event located in West Elizabeth. Visit their website, westmeetingcenter.com, or find them on Facebook, West Meeting Center Rental Hall, located in West Elizabeth. Again, coming up at the half, the Planet Roof halftime interview after the Trib HSSN halftime show here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Color guard members, go to the other side of the field, please. Thank you.
Fourth down and 7. Zelensky in motion, locks in the gun, locks, fakes the handoff, looks to go up top, wants Quinton in the end zone, touchdown Belle Vernon, Quinton Martin, his 4th of the game from 27 yards out, on the ground, through the air, Q in the end zone again.
Yeah, you said it, on the ground or through the air. Not making a difference tonight for Quentin Martin. He's getting it done always. And that was the matchup that we talked about right there, Quentin Martin versus Zach Boyd one-on-one. And Quentin Martin goes and gets it done in the corner of the end zone for the Belle Vernon touchdown.
Quinton Martin having himself a game as Schwera knocks it through 35-14.
You know, every time EF claws back into this game, Belle Vernon answers and extends that lead. But credit to EF for not going away. They'll get the ball back with a minute 14 left in the half. We'll see if they can get a big play to answer.
Quinton Martin, a 36-yard receiving touchdown, an 80-yard rushing touchdown, a 1-yard rushing touchdown, which was set up by a 15-yarder, and now a 27-yard receiving touchdown for the 5-star Quinton Martin. Big players make big plays in big games, and that's what Quinton Martin's done today, as he has more than done enough making up for that fumble.
Yeah, absolutely. Quinton Martin, as advertised, 5-star recruit, offers from just about every school in the country.
You name it, he has it.
Yep. I know he's mentioned that he's going to drop a top 10 list here pretty soon, so I think we're all very anxious to see that.
Also, made it clear, I always ask when I talk to him, I said, still your senior year? Told me it's going to be a senior year. And do you blame the kid? Even if he knows where he wants to go, go enjoy the recruiting experience. Go enjoy visiting all these schools and get to experience all these big college games.
Once in a lifetime experience that most people will never get to have. So absolutely, go enjoy all of that.
This time it's Niggett. Now it's Boyd.
Triple.
And Zach Boyd over the 30-yard line.
The ball came out. They said he was down. That ball did pop out. The referees are saying he was down. There was a crease there. He had a small window that I thought he was going to be able to squeak through, but I think was that LeCart? Yep.
Adam LeCart.
Yeah, he closed that window quickly. It was there, though.
Doing anything and everything to get Zach Boyd the ball in these kickoff returns.
That's what they have to do right now.
And, I think you're thinking, okay, everyone on Belle Vernon's expecting it to go right to Boyd from there. Then they give it to Niggett said.
Yeah. I mean, that honestly looked like some backyard football right there, pitching it around like that, but it did almost work.
Zion White fakes the handoff, looks to go up top again. He wants Kelly Rush. hit down from behind by Cruz. Anthony
Wow.
Cruz cannot cover Kelly Rush right now.
We got 3 flags on the field, a little bit of flag overkill there, but yeah, that does look like it's going to be pass interference on the Leopard defense.
And I don't think it was intentional at all
No.
by Cruz. He got beat and then trying to take those long strides. Looked like he stepped on the heel of Kelly Rush.
I think every referee in the stadium tonight threw their flag too.
One got it and the rest just
Yeah.
made a nice yellow triangle on the field marking the middle of the foul. But, you know, as much as Cruz doesn't like that, that's not a bad penalty. Kelly
No.
Rush probably catches that. He had the step. It was a
Yeah.
good ball. And if he does, he's in the end zone right now.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for the Warriors.
And especially here at the high school level where it's not a spot foul, it's just 15 yards. That's, like you said, not a bad penalty at all.
Yeah, so even if he doesn't score, they're at the 25 worst case scenario of Belle Vernon. Now, 1st and 10, Zion on the gun, still 1:03 on the clock and 2 timeouts. Zion White steps up, pressure coming. Zion's running over the midfield marker, and Zion a first down as Zion White out to the 42.
He's slow to get up though.
And an injury timeout, Zion White. Johnny DiNapoli is the backup quarterback for the Elizabeth Forward Warriors. On the season, DiNapoli has started 1 game, thrown for over 100 yards this year as they are tending to Zion White. Again, Johnny DiNapoli holds the WPIL freshman passing yards record back when he was at East Allegheny. And you're wondering how he got to EF. Well, he grew up at EF. He went through the EF program, then ended up at East Allegheny for his freshman year, came back here to the Elizabeth Forward Warriors, and he has been a great piece at that linebacker position and is the backup to Zion White. Again, over 100 passing yards for DiNapoli in his start this season, but Zion White has played an outstanding game for the Warriors, and that is not someone they can afford to lose if they want to come back.
No, and he's still down. We saw a coach come over and just give him a little hug. Looks like they're working on an ankle maybe.
And looking at that left ankle of Zion White. And I wonder if part of it is his shoe came off during that run.
Yeah, maybe.
So there's
Yeah,
protection.
he doesn't look like he's limping or anything right now.
You get that
so
protection, so
yeah.
maybe you get like a spike into the side of your leg. That's a very uncomfortable
Yeah.
situation.
Well, yeah, he looks good. He's jogging now. Yeah, he should be back. He's got to come out for a play, obviously, because he was down.
And you got to get the shoe on, too.
Yeah.
Johnny DiNapoli in the gun. See if they let DiNapoli take a shot here. Again, he's started this season. Johnny will throw. DiNapoli up top. Flag flies. He wants Rush adjust.
Wow.
And Kelly can't haul it in. Knocked away by Rakonen.
Yeah, this flag's going to be on EF. I think illegal formation. They kind of had somebody come in late off the sideline there. Looked like just in the confusion of the substitution, somebody was late getting onto the field.
Illegal substitution for the Warriors.
So that will back them up as they did indeed let Johnny DiNapoli air it out on his first play at the quarterback position. For now, it is Johnny DiNapoli at the helm as Zion White stays out for the time being. 46 on the clock, 1st and 15. Crucial drive here for the Warriors. Feel like they have to get in the end zone. They'll get the ball to start. DiNapoli to throw again. Has Boyd. Now pressure coming. DiNapoli escapes. Johnny running near side. DiNapoli flipped over by Rakonen as he picks up 6.
EF calls a timeout to stop the clock. That's a great open field tackle there by Rakonen. DiNapoli not an easy guy to bring down.
And a timeout for the Warriors.
Penultimate Elizabeth Forward timeout of the half. As we inch closer and closer to the Planet Roof halftime interview with Charlie Meelib of the Elizabeth Forward Warriors. And, you know, if you haven't, and you're a Belle Vernon fan or a Warrior fan, you can go back and watch any of them. Elizabeth Forward fans, week 0, I should say. We talked with Zach Boyd, so you can go watch that in the Ringgold game. If you're a Belle Vernon fan, we talked to Quentin Martin for the Laurel Highlands game and Braden Locks for the Thomas Jefferson game. So if you missed any of those halftime interviews and you want to, or you're just interested in one of those athletes, two guys going to the Division I level, and Braden Locks, just a junior as well, and I'm sure he's going to get some offers, especially on that defensive side of the ball, how his prowess at end is. So if you want to hear any of those, make sure you go back and watch those or any of our great halftime interviews with our great local Mon Valley athletes.
Excellent use of the word penultimate there as well.
Try to get it in at least once a game.
It's a great word.
Zion White back in at quarterback. 4 receiver set. Zach Boyd in motion. Flag flies.
False start on the Warriors.
False start on the offense.
You can see frustration on Mike Collodi on the far sideline with his squad as 1 step forward, 2 steps back with penalties here in this one.
Yeah. Playing against such a talented team like Belle Vernon, you can't afford to be shooting yourself in the foot as often as the Warriors have tonight.
Second and 15. So basically as if the Johnny DiNapoli run did not happen. For all intensive purposes, Niggett in motion, fakes the handoff. They go out to Boyd in the flat. Zach Boyd over the 40, and Zach Boyd picks up
Pass complete.
enough to make this about 3rd down and 5, so it looks like a 10-yard gain for Boyd quickly to the line.
Here. Saving that last time out.
White comes near side. Niggett holds it in, and does he get out of bounds? He does! Charlie Niggett in between Lacard and Lee with 14 on the clock.
Took a shot there, but was able to hang on to that ball and get out of bounds. That's a great play by Charlie Niggett.
Tough individual, a 15-yard gain. Everything got to be either, you got 1 timeout left if you're Elizabeth Forward. You have none now if you're Belle Vernon, who uses their final of the half. But if you are the Elizabeth Forward Warriors, you kind of feel like you got to keep it towards the sideline or it got to be in the end zone here.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have 1 timeout. I mean, they don't get in the end zone on this play. They'll have that timeout to burn, and then they'll have 1 more shot at the end zone. But yeah, got to score a touchdown here.
Field goal doesn't do much. The way Belle Vernon's scoring, it doesn't help you much. And I don't think Logan Beadle, from what I can tell and from what I have information-wise, has even attempted a field goal this year. 14 seconds in a timeout. You're not like the Jaguars last Sunday with 7 seconds and you throw it a yard short of the end zone. You can stop the clock, unlike them if you're the Warriors. So the middle of the field's still open game. So you find a slant that gets you down to the 10, makes life maybe a lot easier because you use that timeout, and everything else is end zone. As Zion White looks to throw, pressure coming. Zion escapes. Zion White running over the 20. White knocked down and inbounds. Time out with 4 on the clock.
Yep.
Zion White takes off running. Down at the 12-yard line.
So you're going to have 1 play, barring a penalty from 12 yards, make it 13 yards out as the Warriors use their final timeout with 4 seconds left. And something to go back to. I know you're trying to prevent Belle Vernon from having time to score, but yeah, you use both your timeouts on that drive, but if you use one earlier when Belle Vernon has the ball, that was about 40 seconds off the clock.
I was waiting to see if they were going to announce who made that tackle. It was hard for me to tell. It looked like it might have been a Belle Vernon defensive lineman, though, and if so, that's great hustle to get back downfield, chase Zion White out of the pocket and all the way downfield.
Who did it? I mean, Zion easily should have been sacked as well for about a 5-10 yard loss, so that was great by him to escape and get out.
Yeah, we've been seeing him do some of that improvisation all night whenever he scrambles, whenever the pocket collapses, and he's actually had a lot of success with that. He's going to end up with a lot of rushing yards tonight, I think.
Rush has been the favorite target today. He looks for Turner. It's intercepted at the 1 by Jake Jetico.
And that'll do it for the half, too.
That's the half.
An interception by Jetico ends the half, as I think they were trying to go with some trickery, and not necessarily trickery, but it's been Rush, it's been Boyd all game long so far, and they looked at Turner, and if he throws that high, he might have Turner in the back corner of the end zone.
Looks like they were trying to do maybe a back shoulder throw there, and the pass was a little bit off the mark.
As when we come back, it'll be the Trib Live Network halftime show here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, followed by the Planet Roof halftime interview with Charlie Meelibe. It's 35-14 in favor of the Leopards at the half here between Belle Vernon and Elizabeth Forward, presented by All Dry Services right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Halftime show, week 9 edition on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. 2 quarters of football left in the regular season, and then for some, unfortunately, the season will come to an end. For others, it's getting ready for the WPL playoffs and November football. Chris Harlan joins me as we run down all 6 classifications. I think everybody's familiar now with a lot of the scenarios. We will have these ironed out in the scoreboard show coming up a little bit later on the network. So 6A, North Allegheny and Central Catholic are in. The winner of Cannon McMillan and Mount Lebanon is in. Seneca Valley controls their own destiny. If they beat North Allegheny, they are in. If Seneca Valley loses, then that opens the door for scenarios and the abacus.
Yeah, good job by the schedule makers. We basically had 2 play-in games back-to-back. Last week, Central Catholic, Seneca Valley. This week, Lebo, Cannon Mac. So put some drama into the 6A playoff race down the stretch.
Indeed. 5A in the Big East Conference, 2 representatives in, Franklin Regional and Gateway. The Northeast Conference has nobody that has clinched. The winner of the North Hills Pine Richland game is in. If Penn Hills beats Woodland Hills, they are in this evening. In the Allegheny 6, Bethel Park is in Upper St. Clair. If they win, they are also playoff bound. And then, of course, you have the 2 wild cards. Again, depending on what happens in some of these head-to-head games going on as we speak, will either make it a little easier to figure out the wild card or a little tenuous. In fact, there's a scenario where it could come down to the committee tomorrow determining the second wild card.
Yeah, that is. People are going to be worrying about that one for sure. One, to me, I think I'm keeping my eye on Penn Trafford. I think it's interesting, the defending state champions, and they're in jeopardy here. I mean, they're trying to chase down probably one of those wild cards is what they're looking at. But my math I had done, I think there were 54 WPL teams that won a state championship since the state playoffs started. Only 8 of them failed to make the WPL playoffs the next year. Penn Trafford, trying not to be number 9 to not make the playoffs a year after winning a state title.
Yeah, and Mount Lebanon trying not to be number 10 up in 6.
They are. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Penn Trafford would have to get in via a wild card, but they have to win.
Right.
Franklin Regional this evening. All right. Parkway Conference, as we go down to 4A now. Aliquippa, Central Valley, West Allegheny, Montour, Blackhawk are in. They get 5 teams because of the size of the conference. Chris enjoying the big showdown, Central Valley and Aliquippa tonight at Freedom. The Big 8 Conference has its 4 teams set, the order being determined in large part by that McKeesport-Thomas Jefferson game. McKeesport, TJ, Laurel, Highlands, Latrobe all in. Armstrong and Highlands are in, 2 spots up for grabs in the Greater Allegheny Conference. Big one tonight. North Catholic visiting Mars. Hampton in control of their own destiny, but going up against a very good Highlands team.
Yeah, to me, that Mars North Catholic game is interesting because you got Eric Kasparovich on the Mars side trying to build a program first year there, what that would mean to make the playoffs for them. On North Catholic side, you've got Coach Pat O'Shea. He's been there 6 years, has won a bunch of games, and has said this is going to be his last season. He was planning to resign, so a lot going on. You got 2 teams that really want to win and continue their season for much different reasons.
Yeah, good point. All right, 3A Western Hills Conference. 3 teams set. Avonworth, West Mifflin, and South Park is in. No scenario keeps the Eagles out as they battle West Mifflin tonight. So basically comes down to the winner of the Hopewell Beaver game getting into the postseason from the Western Hills Conference. Allegheny Conference, 4 teams set, ordered to be determined tonight. Freeport, Shadyside Academy, East Allegheny, Deer Lake, same situation in the interstate with Elizabeth Board, Belle Vernon, Southmoreland, and Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, you mentioned that Hopewell Beaver game. Hopewell's had some down years. Them right on the cusp there. I know that would mean for them to try to get in, but also with Beaver, that's a good rivalry. 2 Beaver County schools. See what they can do.
All right, to 2A now. This is a scenario where 14 teams get in. 5 from the Allegheny Conference, 5 from the Midwestern Athletic Conference, 4 from the Century. And pretty much the field is set. 1 team remaining up in the air in the Allegheny Conference. Steel Valley is in, Sarah Catholic in, Ligonier Valley in, Burrow is in. If Apollo Ridge beats Burrow tonight, they are in. If not, it opens the door for Imani Christian to qualify. In the Midwestern Athletic Conference, Beaver Falls, Neshannock, Mohawk, great story that you've touched on our website, Chris. Western Beaver and Riverside. And in the Century Conference, Still Rocks, Keystone Oaks, Washington, and McGuffey.
Yeah, I think the Mohawk's an interesting story. Everybody knows how the year started with the hazing allegations and the turmoil that program was in to see Coach Tim McCutcheon and his staff kind of get that Mohawk program together and clinch a playoff spot last week and then this week try to maybe play for second in the conference. Tough start to a season, but to be able to hold a team together and get to the end, that says a lot about the kids and the coaches in that program.
Yeah, indeed. All right, finally, Class A, the biggest of the tournament field, 16, so 4 from all 4 conferences make it. This is sort of old school. Big 7 conference, 4 teams are set. Laurel, Southside, Union, and Rochester. Eastern Conference, those 4 are set. Greensburg, Central Catholic, Leechburg, Clairton, and Jeanette. Black Hills Conference, 3 of the 4 in. Bishop Canevin, Burgettstown, Fort Cherry. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart went to the finals last year. They've been pretty much near the top of the rankings all year, but they're not in yet. It comes down to pretty much the winner of the Osh-Cornell game getting into the postseason. And Tri-County South, Mapletown, great story with the Maples, Monessen, California, and Carmichael's.
Yeah, I was talking to Donnie Militzer, Olsh's coach, after their loss to Bishop Canevin last week, and he was kind of shaking his head about that. He said, "You imagine a 7-2 team going into the last week of the season, and they've got to win to make the playoffs." But that's the way that Black Hills Conference is shaken out this year with them and Cornell and the winners in.
Nehemiah Z missed that Bishop Canevin game. Obviously, they need him against a pretty good Cornell team just to, again, qualify for the postseason. We will have the playoff brackets unveiling show tomorrow at 2 p.m. But to find out who's going to be part of the brackets unveiling show, don't forget after the game that you are listening to or watching, check out the scoreboard show from 9:30 until midnight, tribhssn.triblive.com. We will have all the qualifiers, including those nasty, nasty wild cards in Class 5. I can't complain because that's the only class with wild cards, so it might be the only class where we need to bring out this bad boy. Thanks to Chris Harlan. Enjoy the second half of the game you're listening to here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Marble Diamonds and Jewelry, a third-generation family-owned and operated business since 1964. Whether you are looking to propose, promise, celebrate, or surprise, Marbles has the expertise, selection, and price to make your shopping experience relaxed and easy. Visit our showroom located at 112 Pricedale Road in Belle Vernon, or call us at 724-929-6633. Marble Diamonds and Jewelry, your journey, your jeweler. G-Force Athletic Club free after-school youth boxing program for ages 10 to 18, located at 338 Fallowfield Avenue in Charleroi. G-Force's certified USA boxing coaches provide training in amateur boxing, running, and weight training. G-Force also provide a positive environment and Christian mentoring for our rising generations. For more information, call 202-262-0584. Planet Roof, Pittsburgh's top roofing company, goes above and beyond to give customers the best experience possible. At Planet Roof, we pay close attention to the quality of our work in your home. Our roofers are committed professionals with years of experience who will go above and beyond for all of our clients' needs. Because at Planet Roof, we love what we do. For more information, contact us today at 724-243-3297 or visit our website, planetroof.com. Back here at the half on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network Planet Roof halftime interview here from Elizabeth Forward High School with Elizabeth Forward multi-sport athlete, multi-position player, Charlie Melab. Charlie, first off, really appreciate you doing this for me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Charlie, so obviously one thing about you that I've noticed, I've seen you guys play a lot over the last few years, very versatile athlete on the football field. Last year, you started at offensive guard. Mm-hmm. Then you moved to wide receiver. Played some tight end. This year, you're playing the tackle position. And while all that's going on, still being a very effective DN. How have you been able to be so versatile and be so successful, really, wherever Coach Collodi and this coaching staff has put you?
I feel like me, personally, I have to give 100% no matter what because I'm seen as a leader on and off the field. So if I'm making excuses saying, like, oh, I don't understand plays, what I'm doing, maybe my footwork's not right, I know if I'm making excuses and stuff like that, then the younger dudes that look up to me are going to do the same thing. So I know no matter where I'm at, I got to give my full effort.
Obviously, you've become a huge force on the football field for this Warriors squad. Once your time here at Elizabeth Forward, which we know you still have some time here, what's the goal? What's the end game for you after you finish high school with your football career?
I would definitely say attending a university to play sports, be a student athlete, fulfill my dream of playing football at a college and, do my best and see where that takes me from there.
So, obviously, before you got even to this point, you had to get your start somewhere. Where did that come with football? How did you get this passion, this love for the game?
My first time I played football, I'm walking over the hill and I'm looking down. We had the little dudes, which was flag at the time, the midgets, the middle team, and then the Mighty Mites. And I'm looking down. I'm supposed to play flag that year. I was 7 years old. And I'm looking down. I was always real big. When I was in fifth grade, I weighed 130 pounds. I was always just one of the bigger dudes. And I'm looking down. I see, the middle team versus people I'm supposed to be with. I was like, I'm the same size as these kids. Why would I go play flag? And then I'm gonna go straight to tackle. And that's where I've been ever since. I've loved the game ever since. I started my first year. Here I am today, still playing.
So, obviously, we've talked about you playing both sides of the football. Where's your? I tend to think I know, but where does your heart lie?
I definitely love defense, defensive end. I mean, there's everything great about it. I mean, you coming off the ball, first thing you're doing, punch pressing, making a play. That's what defense is all about. First dude make a play, and that's what I love about it.
So your team as a general, obviously, you've had so much success, and even coming into this Belle Vernon game, though, at least in their side, their coaching staff will say, this is still your conference to lose because no one's beat you. The interstate runs through Elizabeth Forward still, and it's going to run through here tonight as this big matchup. But how has this team been different than you've had a lot of successful years, but it seems like you're such an unselfish, hardworking group, whether it be you, Zach Boyd, Johnny DiNapoli, who was a freshman standout quarterback who now just loves to hit people, it seems like, and then Zion taking a year off basketball to make sure he's ready for this year. How is this team compared to others you've been a part of?
I think our chemistry is absolutely impeccable. Ever since last year, we lost Central Valley in the semis. Ever since then, we've been tight. So, we started lifting. It was, what's going on after lifting? Oh, let's go get food. During the summer, we would have all kinds of team bonding activities. We'd go over someone's house and hang out. Half the time, it was considered team bonding, but we would have almost the whole team there, swimming at someone's house, having a party. Who's pitching on pizza? Our chemistry is just impeccable, and I love all these guys, and I know they all feel the same.
So what would it mean to you guys to come out with this conference championship when so many people, in a sense, have doubted you throughout the year and said, you've been great, but you haven't beat Belle Vernon. You haven't beat Belle Vernon yet. So what would it mean to kind of quiet everybody and say, okay, hey, Belle Vernon's good, but we're just as good, if not better?
I would say definitely our 3 goals are always conference, WPIAL, state. And with that, that's just getting the conference is just the first step to the rest of our season. And, without that first step, we can't complete the rest.
So obviously big goals ahead. And but once you're done with this season, of course, we'll see basketball come again. So you're playing both sports. How do these 2 sports help you? I mean, obviously we saw you all summer in the MVI, SBL. How does basketball help you on the football field and vice versa?
I think, honestly, basketball helps with my conditioning impeccably. As I played in the summer league for MVI, I feel like as I was going to summer conditioning in the morning here, I would work out in the morning, then I would have a workout in between. Coming from football to MVI, I'd have a workout, and then coming to, I'd be drained by 7 o'clock when I was playing. I'd feel like, I'd look at my dad and I'd be like, Dad, I got to play. Like, I don't have a choice. And he'd be like, go get it then. And then that's what I had to do. I know, like, if I'm not being conditioned, if I'm, again, being the whole leadership thing, if I'm not being a role model, showing that I got to work day in and day out, then I'm not doing my job.
Absolutely. You also took care of business this summer. I mean, it was a very impressive performance. This is a tough league, so it was very impressive to see what you were able to do. But before the summer league, in the start of last basketball season, I want to take you back to that. We had our beginning of the year tournament.
Yeah.
You had the Evan Berger goes off for 40-plus points. Everyone thinks he's the hero for TJ. You hit a floater from the 3 line. Where does that rank in your high school sports moments, that floater from the 3 to beat TJ to open up your season last year?
To open up the season, hitting that game winner, that was definitely my first. As soon as I turned around, I remember he hit that jumper. I stepped up, he hit that jumper right in my face. Evan Berger's a great athlete from TJ. He stepped up, hit the 2. I think they were up by 2. That made
up by 2, yes.
I remember everyone putting their heads down. I take off at half court. I'm yelling for the ball. I turn around. I hit it, and the energy was just impeccable. I honestly, blacked out. I just remember I seen the video. It was just crazy. All the guys that celebrated with me, everyone texting me, reposting it, just saying congratulations.
Yeah, definitely one of the cooler moments we've got to see here. So had to check and see where you felt it was in your life of sports. But we'll end with one final question for you here. I like to end all the interviews the same way. So if you've seen any of them, you'll probably know what's coming. But national anthem, especially basketball season, not always as much during football because you're in the locker room, but normally that last thing in sports you hear before you get going, you get onto the field, it's really that last calming influence. Is it a pump-up song, and where does it rank in kind of what's going through your head?
I honestly think it is because my whole life, that's before football games, before basketball games. That's, like you said, always right before. I'm sitting there with every one of my guys. I'm shaking back and forth. I'm listening. I'm honestly singing and humming it. And I just know, right before this, I'm going to battle with my guys. And it's honestly calming. All the anxiety going through, all the emotions. You're like, we're here. It's time to go.
All right, Charlie, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what you guys do against Belle Vernon and, of course, what you guys do throughout the rest of the playoffs because you guys are going to be a lot of problems in 3A no matter where you end up.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
When we come back, it will be half number 2 between the Leopards and these guys, the Warriors, right here on MVI Live in the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Planet Roof, Pittsburgh's top roofing company, goes above and beyond to give customers the best experience possible. At Planet Roof, we pay close attention to the quality of our work in your home. Our roofers are committed professionals with years of experience who will go above and beyond for all of our clients' needs. Because at Planet Roof, we love what we do. For more information, contact us today at 724-243-3297 or visit our website, planetroof.com. Make Dogs Sports Bar and Grill your place to watch football this season. We have the Mon Valley's best seats in the house. 9 10-foot big screen TVs, wing specials every Sunday noon to 4 p.m., pizza and flatbread specials all day Saturday for college game day, Monday night football burger specials, and you can watch all the Thursday night NFL games here at Dogs in the Walmart Lowe's Plaza in Belle Vernon. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. The right brands, price, and advice since 1946. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress is the Mon Valley's choice for selection, service, and savings for over 75 years. Highway Appliance Furniture and Mattress. You're going to like us a lot. We guarantee it.
She is a 6-year member of the marching band.
Back here at the half, here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. A big thank you again to Charlie Melib for doing the Planet Roof halftime interview here this week with us on MVI Live. 35-14 Belle Vernon at the half, as they have taken care of business thus far, and they look like they may be continuing to do so as they've forced turnovers. They've gotten into the end zone, and Quentin Martin has BDF. And Spencer, that's something you said definitely couldn't happen, but it's been the exact case here tonight.
Yeah, we kind of said from the beginning that EF would have to make somebody other than Quentin Martin beat them, and they haven't been able to do that tonight. Quentin Martin has gone off and lived up to the 5-star hype and 5-star reputation that he has, completely as advertised. You know, we talked about it. He has offers from just about every school in the country: Ohio State, Penn State, West Virginia, Pitt locally. Always kind of fun to speculate on where he might go to. I know he says that he grew up dreaming of playing safety for Penn State, so that could be a factor. But then, you know, when you have national title contenders like Ohio State come in and offer you, that's got to be tough to turn down a school like Ohio State that competes for a national championship year in and year out. So.
I always said it was interesting with him, though. It was always safety. It was all with his size. And then look at this year, though, where he's playing. Cornerback. Yeah. Look who's at State College at a cornerback position, size-wise similar.
Joey Porter.
Joey Porter Jr. Very similar style individual. I always found that interesting. I was like, he switches to corner after Joey Porter Jr. kind of says, hey, tall guys can take care of business too.
That's a good point. But the craziest thing to me about Quentin Martin is, I mean, he just turned 16 years old. He was 15 when this season started. Yeah, it's insane when you think about it. Who knows? He could add 20 pounds of muscle to his frame in the next 3 to 4 years and be an outside backer. Who knows how he ends up when he's fully developed?
I mean, you can even see him on the DN position.
Who knows? Yeah, I think you know, those big time colleges, they see that frame, they see that athleticism, and they say, hey, we'll figure it out later. We'll just get him here and we'll figure out where he's going to play later. Not a bad problem to have if you're him or whatever college gets fortunate enough to end up with Quentin Martin.
Yeah, absolutely, as he is a blue chip prospect at its best. And again, you love to see the local kids do it, but it's even better when they're good kids. And you know, I've had the privilege. I've covered Quentin Martin's first high school football game. I covered his first high school basketball game before I was with the Mon Valley Independent. Now I'm here. I got to cover him all the time. I've got to interview him multiple times, and he is such a well-mannered kid with his head on his shoulders. It's so much better when you see it happening to such a good individual like him, that he's, you know, he has this talent and he's taking advantage of it, and he's really someone that has his head truly on his shoulders. And it's just fun to watch him play every single Friday night, in and out, and eventually on Saturdays, and most likely on Sundays after that. As you know, kids, again, you said 16, they are projecting to go in the first 2 days of the NFL draft when he goes out. Like, I just think that's incredible that it's like, yeah, he's 16, but we're going to say he's going to be a first or second round or maybe third round pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, it's good that, like you said, he is a good kid with his head on his shoulders, because at the end of the day, you know, everybody is going to stop playing football at some point in their life, and they will have, you know, much more life to live after that. So it's good that he has his head on his shoulders. He's going to get, you know, wherever he ends up, he's going to get a world-class education there, paid for, you know, for free, graduate college with no debt, and that's something that, you know, if he goes on to play in the NFL, it's still important to have that college degree, and if not, hey, he's set up for the rest of his life.
And you know, to be honest, nowadays, you don't even have to make it out of college to make a good living in football.
That's true. That's true. With NIL and everything.
Especially if, you know, he stays local enough. You know, you see Rodney Gallagher, what he's getting going down to West Virginia. And I mean, it's becoming you can make a good living just coming out of college with it now, and you still get that education.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think that's the biggest thing for these kids, that they get that. We're going to take one more break here on this one before we get back to half number 2. But just again, a reminder that we will have coverage from North Catholic High School tomorrow of the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars and the Montour Spartans in a 3A quarterfinal game. And then, of course, day from Peters Township, we will have coverage of the Fraser Commodores semifinal matchup in 1A volleyball as they will take on Mapletown for the third time this season. Fraser a perfect 20-0 on the year, so they're hoping, and we're hoping, that they punch their tickets into the WPIAL championship game on Tuesday. So that's what will be coming up on deck after tonight. Again, we're going to take one more break, come back, give you some first half numbers, and get you ready for half number 2 right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Belle, Vernon, and EF brought to you by All Dry Services in Rostraver.
Bring together expert faculty. Offer programs in high-demand fields. Add in a few centuries of tradition. You might call it the future of higher education. We're calling it Pennsylvania Western University. We've combined the resources of California, Clarion, and Edinburgh to create a new way to educate, where opportunities are boundless and tomorrow is yours to define. Built on tradition, built for your future. Welcome to Penn West.
Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. The right brands, price, and advice since 1946. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress is the Mon Valley's choice for selection, service, and savings for over 75 years. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. You're going to like us a lot. We guarantee it. G-Force Athletic Club free after-school youth boxing program for ages 10 to 18, located at 338 Fallowfield Avenue in Charleroi. G-Force's certified USA boxing coaches provide training in amateur boxing, running, and weight training. G-Force also provide a positive environment and Christian mentoring for our rising generations. For more information, call 202-262-0584. Back here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, Belle, Vernon, and Elizabeth Ford. Interstate Conference Championship game brought to you by All Dry Services as we get set for the third quarter kickoff here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. The Warrior offense will head back to work. Zion White, 146 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 45 rushing yards. Boyd, 3 for 42 and a score from 28 yards. Kelly Rush, 3 for 101 and a score. Braden Locke for Belle Vernon, 104 yards passing. Martin, 7 carries, 103 yards, and 2 scores and 2 receptions for 64 and a touchdown. There comes the pitching. This time Niggett takes it himself, and Charlie Niggett over the 35 as Doppelhauer gets into a bit of a shoving match after the fact.
Yeah, we continue to see Belle Vernon keep the ball out of Zach Boyd's hands on kickoff, and we continue to see EF try to find creative ways to get better field position. So again, back to that chess match between Coach Humbert and Coach Colati. Just really interesting to see that play out on special teams. Every kickoff is, on both sides, has really been unique.
Zion White in the gun. Trips near side, 1 receiver far side. Brown in the backfield, quick out there, Zach Boyd. Good block by Niggett. Zach Boyd loses the football, and the Leopards pounce on it. Boyd trying to get extra yards and lost the handle. Cole Doppelhauer with the recovery.
Not the start the Warriors wanted to the half. Initially a great play there by Boyd on that screen pass, that bubble screen. Like you said, got a great block from Niggett, but I'm not sure who was that was able to knock it out from Belle Vernon. I couldn't tell who forced it, but Doppelhauer recovers it, and Belle Vernon's going to get the ball with good field position here to start the half.
So Belle Vernon from just outside the 50 at their own 48. That was a huge needed score for EF if they could have got it, but the turnover. Braden Locks looks to go up top, overthrows his man. Isaiah Turner was the closest one in the vicinity.
Locks' pass is incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Belle Vernon trying to capitalize on that momentum after the turnover, taking a shot deep, just a little overthrown there. I like the idea, though.
Second down and 10. Alonzo Wade and Colton Lee line up far. Locks in the pistol, Martin behind him. 7 carries, over 100 yards on the ground. Martin gets the call again over midfield as Quinton falls down towards the 45, short of it at the 46, maybe make it the 47 as Charlie Meelib getting downhill to force the third down for Belle Vernon.
Good push by the interior of the Leopards offensive line there to make room for 5 yards for Martin.
Rakonen and Lee far side. Locks has Quinton Martin to his right. H-back positions held by Zelensky. See if they run to the left side of the line where Zelensky's leading. He motions right. Quinton up the middle. Quinton spins off a tackle.
Wow.
Breaks another. Oh my! Quinton Martin, a 5-star style run for his 5th score. Quinton Martin says this is too easy from 47.
I mean, just an incredible run there. We saw a little bit of every running style just within that one play. We saw some patience initially, a burst, a nice spin move, and then we saw him lowering the shoulder to run a defender over and take it the rest of the way to the house. That was an incredible run.
Quinton Martin, as advertised here tonight. Twice through the air, 3 times on the ground. Shuera off the upright and in. When it's your night, and it's Belle Vernon's night here tonight.
I mean, he quite literally put every running attribute on display there on that one touchdown run.
Broke a tackle at the line, spin move,
Burst,
ran a guy over.
breakaway speed at the end. He literally just did everything you could possibly do on one run.
Not many built like Quinton Martin out there. And again, he's 16.
You could tell me he was 28 and I would believe you.
He is a men amongst boys out there here this evening. And, you know, there's a big reason Quinton's doing this as well. The dogs up front taking care of business. They're giving big pushes. Jake Heckel, Dane Levi, Luke Breyer, Dylan DeWitt, Steven Macheska, Perry Rigger, Jacob Farr, and Zach May all rotating in and out of that offensive line. And they have all created big gaps to run, whether it been Quinton Martin or whether it was Jake Jetico, who, again, went down with an injury, and, again, still wishing the best for Jake Jetico, who I believe is on the near sideline in street clothes on crutches.
Yeah, it's tough to see. Hopefully, you know, fingers crossed is maybe just precautionary that he's on crutches and he'll be able to come back. And Belle Vernon actually kicks it deep here to Zach Boyd for the first time tonight.
And they make him pay.
Yep.
Zach Boyd, nowhere to go.
You know, you mentioned the big dogs up front for Belle Vernon. Dane Levi is somebody who's impressive to me, only a junior. Big body on the interior line, on both lines of Belle Vernon, the offensive line and the defensive line. Got a chance to see him up close this summer. He came to camp up at Cal U, and I know a lot of the coaches up there were impressed with him. He's got some interest from some other schools too, some MAC schools. Only a junior, so he'll be back next year with a lot of the players on Belle Vernon's team.
Zion White. See what they can do here. Trips near side. Johnny DeNapoli guarded by Q on the far side. DeNapoli fakes the screen, or make that White. Now White, pressure coming, breaks another sack, throws it down the sideline and out of bounds, and caught by a Leopard coach, as that gets the Leopard crowd pumped up even more. Belle Vernon's defensive line probably should have about 6 sacks tonight.
I think that might have been, was that Coach Nangle who caught that on the sideline? I don't know. Made a nice catch, and like you said, got the crowd riled up. But, yeah, you mentioned Zion White's, all the credit to him. He's done a great job of avoiding sacks. Almost looks like Ben Roethlisberger back there, just a big body who, you know, defenders have been able to get their hands on him, but they have not been able to bring him down.
2nd and 10.
Zion White looks to throw once more. Zion one, Zach has separation on Martin, but it's intercepted. Adam LaCarte, the ball-hawking safety. But Martin took the worst of it as LaCarte got him up high.
Yeah, that interception might have come at a cost for Belle Vernon. Hopefully it's just the wind knocked out him or something. But yeah, that's not what you want to see there if you're Belle Vernon.
Adam LaCarte, another INT on the season, as 3 plays and 2 turnovers in the second half, but Quentin Martin, friendly fire as Adam LaCarte gets his second INT of the season.
He's up.
Quentin Martin. Let me get the binoculars. I think he had a smile on his face.
Yeah, we've kind of been speculating about injuries on. I'm going to guess he got the wind knocked out of him there.
He's laughing.
Yeah, he's up. And
he's laughing. So Adam LaCarte maybe put the biggest hit to Quentin Martin's felt all night.
Yeah.
You know, when you're up by this, I think Adam can joke, hey, I just think you haven't been getting hit enough tonight.
Yeah.
Make sure you're still in the game. But right now, Belle Vernon's going to start this drive on their 3rd tailback. Most likely that will be Anthony Cruz, the sophomore. Last year was a standout freshman at Monessen.
I mean, if
might be Cole Doppelhauer.
If you're the Leopards at this point too, I mean, pretty soon you're probably going to start thinking about getting some of your reserves in, your backups in, getting those younger guys some experience in a big game, and also saving your starters for, a big time playoff run.
And originally, I think a lot of us thought it was almost a foregone conclusion that it was going to be winner 1, loser 3. Belle Vernon doing this. Is it go 1-4 then, possibly?
I still think it's 1-3. I think here in 3A, I think you have Belle Vernon, EF, a big gap, and then Avonworth, and then another big gap, and then everybody else.
I tend to agree, but you never know with what the WPL decides to think on any given night.
Yeah.
That will come out tomorrow, 2 o'clock, the playoff bracket. Handoff, Cole Doppelhauer stopped in his tracks after a gain of a yard.
DiNapoli on the stop. That's a good play by him to knife through the Belle Vernon offensive line and make a stop in the backfield. But looks like he's limping a little bit now too. He's a tough kid though. He'll be all right. I mean, credit to DiNapoli for moving out of his middle linebacker spot to play nose guard here. He's maybe 215 pounds, which is a good size for a linebacker, but I mean that is a very small defensive lineman, so credit to him for switching positions here to try to help his team.
Johnny DiNapoli, the spark plug of that EF defense, as Quentin gets the call. Quentin bounces off one. DiNapoli tries to run him down as Martin breaks the arm tackle and scoots out. As Quentin Martin gets up over the 40 to the 42, making it 4th down.
I thought Martin was going to turn that corner and rip off another ridiculous run here, but there's DiNapoli right on cue, chasing him out of bounds.
4th down and 4.
4th and 4, and Belle Vernon says, why not keep the offense on the field? You force 2 turnovers, you can put the Warriors to bed basically in this one, still with 9:44 remaining in the quarter. Somebody went early, might have been Macheska, might have been Wilmore, everybody pointing at everybody. Stephen Macheska, the false start. Stephen Macheska, big boy on both sides of the lines. We'll see Schwerer come out to punt now, but I'm sure Coach Rick Kalinowski of the Ringgold Rams hockey team will be very excited once football season's over and he gets one of his defensemen back on the ice for him.
Can't be every day you see an offensive lineman playing hockey.
Not really. He's a good defender as well for that Ringgold Rams team that fell a game short of the PIHL D2 championship game.
Great punt.
Our first game with either team, we'll actually have the Warriors and the Rams, will be next week on Thursday night from the Ice Gardens. Looking forward to that. It kind of retold teams on both sides of things on the ice. Belle Vernon, they play with the Ringgold Rams in these D2. EF has a team.
You know, I do love hockey. I love watching the Penguins, but I really can't get into hockey until football season's over.
I can understand it. It's a
Yeah.
good during the week thing for me. I'll tell you
gotcha.
that. Especially now that we are winding down with volleyball and soccer. Next week, WPIAL championship games. A week from tomorrow, UPMC Sports Event Center at RMU will host the volleyball championships. Zion looking for Kelly Rush, and Kelly has it broken up as it's batted away by Cruz.
Intended for Kelly Rush.
Yeah, good play by Cruz there to break that up.
Second down.
We've seen Rush and Cruz going at it for a lot of the night. Kind of been going back and forth between the two, but Cruz takes that one.
Rush over the century mark here tonight. One of the 2 Warrior touchdowns in the contest. Win back, look, 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Zion, handoff, that's to Charlie Niggett. Niggett tries to get the edge, but slowing him down was Braden Locks in the second wave. Comes out and slams him down, it's Sasko.
Yeah, good play there by Locks to string that out. We've seen Belle Vernon's defensive line, specifically their defensive ends, stringing out those outside runs all night that Elizabeth Ward has been attempting. Defensive ends are doing a good job setting the edge, and then the backers are coming up to finish off the tackles. It's great team defense there by Belle Vernon. Coach Brett Barrich really has those guys ready to play.
2 turnovers on the first 2 drives to start the half for the Warriors. Now they face a 3rd down and a long 9. Trips near side, 1 receiver far side. Man in the backfield's Charlie Niggett. As White will take off. Zion over the 20, tripped up, diving. It's going to be close. Depends on the spot.
I think he's got it. Yeah, based on that rough spot, I think he's got it. And again, we've seen really EF's most consistent success tonight comes from Zion White scrambling after the pocket collapses. He just scrambles. He's gonna end up with a lot of rushing yards tonight.
White's going to be marked about 1.5 yards shy of the line to gain. As an injury timeout for Charlie Melib, who was shaken up on that play.
I think if you're EF, you have to go for it with the score. 42-14 right now in the 3rd quarter. I think, yeah, you have to go for this.
All Dry Services of Ross Draver and Fay West. They're opening November 7th. It can service a number of issues, including mold remediation, 24/7 emergency water and flood restoration, medical and trauma scene cleanup. For more information, visit myalldry.com. All Dry. We expect the unexpected. As they bring out the punting unit with Charlie Niggett. They've already faked 1, and they were stoned by Jake Jedico with that sequence.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see them punt here. Especially, 4th and a yard. Big quarterback like Zion White. I thought for sure they'd go for this.
No one back deep for Belle Vernon. As Charlie Niggett will punt this one away out over midfield, spiraling. And it takes a EF roll inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. As Charlie Melib down there to down it.
With a 51-yard punt. First and 10 for the Leopards.
I think Belle Vernon is going to want one more score here, and then they're probably going to rest a lot of their starters.
And the one thing, it's been a while though for Belle Vernon. You kind of, if you were the Leopards, not that I'm not saying you're not happy, you're ecstatic. You're up 42-14, but I'm sure they were in a sense hoping for a game where they could keep everybody in there the entirety of the game. It hasn't happened since Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
As Locks handoff, Quinton Martin. Martin breaks a tackle. Quinton just bullying his way down the sideline.
Wow.
A men amongst boys.
Yeah, the Quinton Martin show continues.
Quinton had 612 on the season and 69 carries coming in. There's another 16 to his total. He was over the century mark at the break.
I mean, and his yardage total is, I mean, you have to almost put an asterisk next to it because he's playing a half, maybe 3/4 of most games. If he would have had a full workload all season.
And in the early season, he had cramping issues.
Yeah.
He couldn't stay on the field.
Yeah, he would have significantly more yards if Belle Vernon hadn't beaten all of their last teams by 40-some points.
Yeah, since Belle Vernon moved into section play inside of 3A, they've scored 204 points,
Wow.
51 points per game, and their defense on the other side has given up just 3.5 points per game inside of 3A play. I mean, and still overall, they're at over 36 per game and under 9 per game. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. They've been incredible every step of the way.
Yeah, great decision to go seek out tougher competition at the beginning of this, at the beginning of the season, as well as scrimmages too. Definitely done strategically by Coach Humbert to make sure his team was ready to go down the stretch run and in conference playing and into the 3A playoffs.
As we get a timeout called by the Belle Vernon Leopards, we can let you know that West Meeting Center is perfect for birthday parties, wedding showers, baby showers, business meetings, and any other family event located in West Elizabeth. Visit their website, westmeetingcenter.com, or find them on Facebook at West Meeting Center Rental Hall, located in West Elizabeth. Final night of regular season WPIAL football. 2 o'clock tomorrow. We'll know where everyone's seated, where everyone ranks, and who everybody's playing. As next Friday night we start the WPIAL postseason. Most likely both of these teams will have byes if it is that 1-3 seeding that many people expect as locks on 1st and 15. Fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, picks up 5, and then stood up and slammed backwards.
Hawks on the quarterback keeper.
Christian Kennedy on the stop for the Warriors. Richard Procup, the senior linebacker, in there as well.
Zone read from the Leopards there. Good decision by Locks to pull that one from Quentin Martin and keep it himself. Picks up about 5-6 yards there.
Again, Belle Vernon already without Evan Polon and Tanner Moody coming into play, and Jake Jedico down with an injury tonight. Locks in the gun. Quentin Martin, he's been a workhorse tonight on the ground through the air. He's been dominant. Locks gives it to Martin again, met in the backfield. This time he's not going nowhere. It's almost all 11 to bring him down. Kelly Rush was in a battle with Colton Reed, and Colton Reed slow to get up on the far side of the field. I wonder if Kelly Rush maybe got him down low.
Oh, yeah, just based on where he's.
Johnny DiNapoli, we talked about him all night. He's unselfish. Came in here, was a standout quarterback at East A. Came in here to play linebacker. He's a linebacker. Now he's playing D tackle. And he just busted through the center of that line to stop the number 1 player in the state in the backfield.
Yeah, Johnny DiNapoli, he's a kid who's going to play in college. He lists offers from Clarion, Walsh, and Findlay, all Division II schools. I'm sure he has some other Division II schools that are interested in him as well. So he's definitely a guy who's going to play at that next level. Just a tough, old school, typical Western Pennsylvania football player.
Yeah, he has the heart you want, I think, any kid to have. May not. And I'm not saying Johnny DiNapoli's not talented. He very much is a talented player, but if you have a kid with all the talent in the world, and he could not be as successful as a guy like DiNapoli, because DiNapoli, he gives that 110% effort every down, every sequence he's on the field, and that's a coach's dream.
Yeah, it's that toughness that stands out to me, and you can tell by the way he runs the ball when he gets carries on offense. He is a load to bring down.
Remember, coming up after the game, we'll have the Highway Appliance Furniture and Mattress Player of the Game. And, of course, after we go off the air, it will be the WPIAL Scoreboard Show on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Recaps from across the area, and of course ending with the WPIAL Roundtable, taking you till midnight tonight. You can join Don Rebel, myself, and I don't know who else is actually with us here this evening, but we'll be taking you to midnight on the network, and we'll have a lot of fun and a lot to break down here on this busy Friday as Quentin Martin back past the original line of scrimmage and picks up another one past there.
DiNapoli again on the stop. I mean, he's out there racking up tackles from the nose guard position. He's going to end up with as many tackles as he would have had if he played linebacker. Belle Vernon brings on the punting unit here.
Third punt of the game, second straight possession with a punt for Willie Schwera. Schwera almost blocked by Boyd. Niggett calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 25.
Fair catch by Charlie Niggett.
Yeah, EF bringing the pressure there to try to block that, and they got close.
Zach Boyd made his way through, and
First and 10.
partially it looked like Schwera had to adjust his hold on the ball before sending it down on the punt, which I think allowed Zach Boyd to make that a much closer sequence. .5:10 remaining in the third quarter. Ball lies on the Warrior 25.
Yeah, let's see what EF can do with this possession. They're starting to get to that point in the game where, you know, they need to develop a sense of urgency here.
Handoff, Charlie Niggett around the edge, and Charlie Niggett gets back to the line of scrimmage. No further on the handoff from Johnny DiNapoli.
Yeah, interesting that DiNapoli's in the quarterback. It looks like Zion White's sitting over on the edge of the bench right now. Not sure if...
Is it injury or is it precaution at this point? You know, we've talked about when does Belle Vernon go to the reserves. Is it, let's make sure our senior quarterback is ready to go for the playoffs as a Leopard cramping up on the far side of the field. Looks like it's Alonzo Wade. As Wade will make his way to his feet. One of two Wade brothers on this Belle Vernon team. Of course, younger brother Curdy, a freshman. He's down on the near sideline. We got a chance to watch Curdy play this summer in the MVI SBL. As expect to see Curdy play a decent role for the Belle Vernon basketball team come basketball season. Very much bigger than, already looks much more put together than a freshman normally does. Second down and 9 as they give Niggett maybe one there. Johnny DiNapoli sends Kennedy in motion. DiNapoli, handoff, that's Wilmore, bounces it to the edge, and again the Leopards ready. Aiden Johnson and Cole Doppelhauer.
Yeah, again, great pursuit there by the Leopard defense. Keep seeing that common thing of the defensive ends stringing out those runs, and then the linebackers filling the gaps and finishing off the tackle.
Belle Vernon scored the opening 21 points. The Warriors made it 21-7 as Belle Vernon would continue to roll. They scored 14 in the second. Elizabeth Ford got one more touchdown then. One score here in the third, and it belongs to Quentin Martin. 3 on the ground for Martin, 2 through the air as DiNapoli goes to Turner, and Turner met immediately after the catch, well short of the line to gain as he stopped at the 29-yard line.
Looked like back-to-back tackles there by Doppelhauer. He was right on that route and immediately tackled it. And EF looks like they're going to punt now.
4th down and 6. Charlie Niggett to send it away again. As Kelly Rush looked to get a head start, he will get a false start penalty from that outside gunner and immediately will head to the sideline.
Rakonen back deep instead of Martin.
Chase Rakonen He's seen his fair share of returns this season for Belle Vernon again.
Another flag. False start again on Elizabeth Forward.
EF has shot themselves in the foot a lot tonight and continue to back themselves up here. Charlie Niggett from his own 6 gets the snap. Charlie sends it away. Hits at the 40, takes a Warrior roll, but short of the midfield line before it's down by Charlie Milad.
And Belle Vernon's going to start here with great field position on the Warrior side of the 50.
47-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Leopards.
2:43 remaining. Here in quarter number 3 from the Warrior 47. Still locks.
You see Martin on the sideline now.
It's Cole Doppelhauer in there, maybe that tailback position. Actually, will go out to wide receiver, and Zelensky, the fullback, the lone back. Anthony Cruz has seen some work at the running back position this year right now. It's Zelensky to the left of Locks. Maybe Braden's last drive as well. Quarterback keeper up over the 45 to the 44. Tanner Stieber has seen a good amount of work this year, 11 for 25 and a score through the air for Stieber. As Cruz checks into the game here. .208 remaining, 42-14 Leper lead. Locks in the gun, trips near side, Cruz the back. Anthony Cruz has it pulled away on the read option as Braden Locks up over the 40 and down to the 37. Going to be about half a yard, maybe the length of a football away from another Belle Vernon first down.
Yeah, Locks has done a pretty good job all night on that zone read, making the correct decision more often than not on when to pull it and when to give it.
Third down in the length of a football. Big 6'5" junior. See if they let him do it himself. There he is, QB sneak, and a first down for the Leopards and then some. As he gets down to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, solid push up front there from the line, and then another good push from the 3 running backs they had in the backfield as well.
Steven Machesko was slow to get up. Dom Sasko was frantically motioning towards the sideline for a second for help, but Steven Machesko gets back up and gets right into the huddle.
Yeah, well, you say he's a hockey player, right? Hockey players got to be tough, so he shook that off and continuing on.
Anthony Cruz to the left of Locks. Lee near side, one receiver. It's Rakonen on the far side. Braden Locks gets the snap. Quick hitter and incomplete. Threw it behind his intended target, Colton Lee.
2nd and 10.
Make it 2nd and 10 with 41 on the clock here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, he had Lee open there, just a little off target with the throw. Kind of surprised to see Belle Vernon throwing the ball, given the current score and time remaining.
And you imagine a number of the starters are done. Probably won't see, I'd be shocked if we see Quentin Martin come back into this game. Braden Locks possibly in his final sequence at the quarterback position. Man in motion, that's Cole Doppelhauer. Cruz the back and some motioning movement early on the line.
False start on the offense.
As Belle Vernon will back up. False start makes it 2nd down and 15 for the Belle Vernon Leopards. Last checked, it was 10-6 McKee Sport in Thomas Jefferson. Another one of the big games. And if Thomas Jefferson were to win that, it would make tri-champions in the Big 7 conference between TJ, Laurel Highlands, and McKeesport. As handoff, Cruz, a burst of speed, lost the football. Turner scoops it up for Elizabeth forward. Isaiah Turner with the recovery as Anthony Cruz had that one come squirting out right into the hands of the Warrior defense.
Yeah, definitely not what Coach Humbert wanted to see as Belle Vernon tries to salt this game away. You know, can't give EF any chances to get back into it at this point, but I don't know, just didn't look like he had a good handle on it from the handoff. Took off up the middle and just lost it.
Fake handoff, and Johnny DiNapoli going nowhere but backwards. A 2-yard loss for DiNapoli right into the heart of the Belle Vernon front as Dane Levi leads the charge.
Yeah, other than Zion White's scrambles after the pocket collapses, EF has not had success running the ball tonight.
That will do it for the third quarter's 3 chapters in the books, and Belle Vernon likes the way the story has been written. 42-14, the Leopards lead at the end of 3 in the MVI Live Game of the Week here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, brought to you by All Dry Services. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. The right brands, price, and advice since 1946. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress is the Mon Valley's choice for selection, service, and savings for over 75 years. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. You're going to like us a lot. We guarantee it. G-Force Athletic Club free after-school youth boxing program for ages 10 to 18, located at 338 Fallowfield Avenue in Charleroi. G-Force's certified USA boxing coaches provide training in amateur boxing, running, and weight training. G-Force also provide a positive environment and Christian mentoring for our rising generations. For more information, call 202-262-0584. Back here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, the Warriors and the Leopards, brought to you by All Dry Services of Ross Draver. TJ has taken the lead 13-10 as to start the fourth quarter. Charlie Niggett scampers over the 30-yard line to the 31.
Rakonen with the tackle.
Chase Rakonen and Adam LaCarte come out to make the stop.
Yeah, you mentioned TJ up 13-10 over McKeesport right now, and then we also heard that Central Valley is up 24-22 over El Equipa.
And that was what, 24-14, right?
Yeah.
So
Equip's coming back.
now, you know, it's technically a home game for El Equipa, but or is it Central Valley? I think it was a home.
El Equipa was home,
but
it was
they
at
don't have a
Freedom.
home stadium.
It's at Freedom High School as El Equipa's stadium is being renovated.
DiNapoli going up top for Zach Boyd through the fingertips.
Oh.
As that was 69-yard score written all over it. Not too often does Boyd let that one get by.
No, tough one.
That was a perfect pass by Johnny DiNapoli.
Now it'll be fourth down for the Warriors, and looks like they're going to punt.
Another Mon Valley Conference Championship game and another blowout. 28-0 Steel Valley taking care of business against Sarah Catholic, looking to hand the Eagles back-to-back losses. As the Ironmen led by Cruz Brookins have had no issues at the nest here tonight. Charlie Niggett gets it away. Chase Rakonen watches it hop down the sideline. Another friendly roll for Charlie Niggett inside the 15 as Kelly Rush will let Christian Kennedy down it at the 12-yard line.
Yeah, it ends up being a really good punt after that roll. Just added to the list of things that Charlie Niggett can do.
And a missed opportunity for the Warriors to get back on the scoreboard. On that last drive, a dropped, what would presumably have been a 69-yard touchdown pass. 57 yards on the punt for Niggett. 10:59 remaining here in the half, or in the contest, I should say, with Belle Vernon taking over at their own 12. And in motion, Chase Rakonen. It's still Braden Locks out there. He'll fire it over Rakonen through the hands and out of bounds. A little too much on it for Chase Rakonen to handle.
See Quentin Morton sitting on the end of the bench here with a towel over his head, all by himself. It's a strange sight. I hope he's okay. I hope there's, we saw him take that hit earlier from LeCart, one of his teammates. Hope everything's all right with him.
Yeah, he was walking around. Because he was walking around earlier, and sometimes hits like that.
Yeah.
You hope nothing is wrong, but as whistle blows before the handoff that was sending Cole Doppelhauer up the middle.
False start on the offense.
So false start against the Leopards marches them backwards. 10:55 remaining, 42-14 your score. Belle Vernon looking like a 3A Interstate Conference champion as they're looking to dethrone this Warriors squad. They've won 4 of the last 5. They've won back-to-back, but Cole Doppelhauer scampers free, and he's going to be
first down.
Cole Doppelhauer, very shifty, very small, and showing off the moves there. Had a 40-yard kickoff return earlier tonight.
Yeah, there was a great cut there to make that defender miss and end up getting that first down.
10:30 remaining here in the half running clock. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Locks in the pistol, 2 receivers, 1 each side. Doppelhauer the back, gets the call again. Cole right down Broadway, spun down by Zach Boyd after a gain of 9.
That Belle Vernon offensive line continuing really to impose their will, but there are some big gaps there, some big holes that they're opening up for the running back. Cole Doppelhauer, also only a sophomore, kind of really similar to Charlie Niggett from EF. They're both on the smaller side, but very quick guys that are versatile, can do a lot of things, and they're both only sophomores and both wear number 1. Almost like mirror images of each other.
Yeah, both guys much bigger, showing that size isn't everything when it comes to football. Braden Locks gives it to Cole Doppelhauer again. Charlie Niggett, first one there, breaks the tackle, and riding him to the ground was Winters. Make it Grant Robinson.
Yeah, Belle Vernon continuing to run this clock down, content with taking their time and making sure they're using up all of that play clock.
First down and 10. Ball sits at the Belle Vernon 42-yard line. As leading them to the line is Luke Breyer, the big 5'10", 220 junior. Locks in the pistol. Locks gets the snap. Handoff. Doppelhauer up the middle. Cole met immediately and slammed down after a gain of 3.
Handoff up the middle again.
As stopping Doppelhauer was Richard Prokop.
Prokop and Milad in for the tackle for Warriors.
Also, now that we're getting into garbage time in this game, appreciate every single athlete that has done our Planet Roof halftime interviews and putting up with my final question about the national anthem. But also, I had a head coach, Mandy Hartman, text me during the game and said she absolutely agrees the national anthem is a pump-up song. So there's another person agreeing with me. I just want to put it out there that basketball players didn't agree, but everybody else has so far. As Braden Locks, he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Richard Prokop again.
Elizabeth Ford defender lost his helmet on that play, number 81.
That's Christian Kennedy. Switched numbers partway through this year.
Gain on the play brings up 3rd down and 7.
You know, Spencer, I always joke with the athletes after I get off the interview and said, you know, I always would ask people this, and no one would have an answer. And I said, this was my way of pulling athletes. They can't go anywhere. I'm interviewing them. They have to answer the question. And it's become a
Captive audience.
It's become a tradition now. That's how I have to end every single interview with my athletes. And most of them enjoy the question. And through football in the fall season, where I've had some volleyball players in Delaney Concannon and Jensen Hartman, along with soccer player Abby Whaley, they've all agreed. As Doppelhauer cuts back, a nifty move there, and Charlie Niggett meets his counterpart after a first down run.
Yeah, he's really showing off some shiftiness. If you're Belle Vernon, I mean, I'm looking at the roster. If you're Belle Vernon, you've got to be excited at what the future holds. Their whole team is juniors and a couple sophomores sprinkled in too. I mean, their entire offensive line -1 comes back. Like they are loaded with juniors.
Yeah, it is a great team. You're going to lose Rakonen and Pulot, which are some big losses. But besides that, I mean, it's not that much that you're losing in the entire thick of things. And then, you know, Alonzo's had an emerged role. You're going to see more of Diabre Lightfoot next year, I'm sure. Curdy Wade's going to be a sophomore next year, and I think he's going to be a menace as Doppelhauer comes near side, and Charlie says, how do you do again, as Niggett stops him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody is expecting Belle Vernon to make a significant playoff run this year, but they're going to be just as loaded next year, if not more, with, you know, a whole other year of experience and a year in the weight room and an off season under everybody's belt. They're going to be, I think, maybe more dangerous next year.
Is Belle Vernon the new Central Valley of 3A? Yeah. Central Valley moves out,
That's
Belle
right.
Vernon moves in.
That's right.
Central Valley, they've had no problem with the jump to 4A. You know, last year it was the Landon Alexander show, and still they're great this year. Is Cole Doppelhauer. He's a pretty good tailback as well, bouncing around and spun down short of the 30 at the 31.
Yeah, you mentioned Central Valley. I think they have the longest winning streak in the state right now, up over 35, maybe 36 games, depending on what they do tonight.
Aliquippa holds the a pretty good record in the WP Island State as well. They're the longest playoff qualifier, tied with the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars.
Well, both of those teams will continue that streak this year. Probably no stopping anytime soon either.
Now, those are great teams, both sides of things. Central Valley, Aliquippa, of course, one of the many games of the night we had here on the Triple I High School Sports Network as Doppelhauer bounces. Doppelhauer again, he's making it look easy. The little guy running forward for 10. He doesn't run his sizes at all. Cole Doppelhauer, listed at 5'10", which doesn't look that tall. I think that's a generous 5'10", but it's just a $155. Or I don't know how, 5'9" on the one roster, 5'10" on another one, but nonetheless. Charlie Niggett's listed as 5'6", and they mirror each other size-wise. You stand next to each other, they're the same height. So somebody's lying about something.
Yeah, Doppelhauer really showing his elusiveness as a runner. Great vision, great shiftiness. He's only a sophomore. He's going to be a problem.
Braden Locke says he'll take a turn as he goes right tackle over the 10 down to the 9.
If you're Coach Humbert and the Belle Vernon coaching staff, this is exactly what you want to see out of your team right now. Just a dominant drive that looks like it's going to end the game. You know, run the clock out. This is something that can pay off in the future in the playoffs in this scenario where, you know, they know that they can rely on their quarterback and their offensive line to put a dominant drive together to end a game.
Doesn't stop here, though, either side. If you're EF, you got to pick the pieces up, get ready for the playoffs, and hope for another opportunity to knock Belle Vernon off. For Belle Vernon, you can't get too far ahead of yourself. It's just a conference championship. That's just one box checked out of the many you're hoping for. As Doppelhauer left side and in. 6 yards out for 6 more, or 9 yards out for 6 more for Cole Doppelhauer.
Yeah, great run. Really, really great vision. I mean, I'm impressed by Cole Doppelhauer. I was impressed by Quentin Morton earlier, and Cole Doppelhauer picked up right where Quentin Morton left off when they decided to rest him.
88-yard drive, basically all on the ground, and probably 70 yards of that was with Doppelhauer.
Yeah.
Willie Schuera
Missed it.
first miss of the night. His last one went off the upright and in. That one not kind, but still 48-14. Belle Vernon most likely in what is their final offensive drive of the night, barring a quick 3 and out for the Elizabeth Forward Warriors.
Yeah, at this point, if you're Belle Vernon, if you're the coaches, you take your starters out by now. No point in risking anything.
Well, it looks like tri-champions in the Big 7 conference maybe. TJ up by 10 as Aliquippa is now taking the lead. Thomas Jefferson, though, I think a lot of people doubted what they could do. I mean, I think we on the Valley Sports Guys podcast all picked McKeesport to win. I said I thought it'd be a one-score game, that McKeesport was able to ring it out in a low-scoring affair, but I'm surprised Thomas Jefferson's offense has been able to do what they have against that McKeesport defense. And that's no offense to Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. McKeesport's defense is the best in the WPIO for a reason.
Yeah, I definitely thought McKeesport would win that game. However, Thomas Jefferson, TJ is TJ. They've been TJ for the past 20-plus years. Something about, fall football weather, late season, playoff run, playoff times, TJ's always lurking. They know how to win this time of year. But Bill Cherpak and his shorts have done it for, like I said, the past 20 years. And I'm sure he's on the sideline wearing his trademark shorts right now.
I guarantee
no matter how cold it is. And yeah, TJ just wins this time of year. So while I thought McKeesport would win that game and win the conference outright, I'm also not entirely shocked that TJ has the lead right now.
And they avoid a big – that would have been the first time in a I went all the way back to 03 going – we did them last week on the network, and they hadn't had a 4-loss regular season since at least 2003. Mm-hmm. They've only had one 3-loss regular season, and this was the second one as a kick out of bounds on the near side.
Yeah, I mean, schools like Thomas Jefferson, just the model of consistency in Western Pennsylvania football. Coach Bill Cherpak is a legend, probably the best, if not one of the best high school football coaches, not just in the Whitfield, but in the entire state. I saw a statistic maybe a year ago. Coach Cherpak was in the top 10 in the entire country in win percentage, which is insane when you think about it.
Oh, it's incredible. He's nearing a milestone victory of himself, as he has been a model of consistency, as his program has as well. 10 straight semifinal appearances, and many people thought, is this the year they don't make it? Well, so much for that, as reserves in and a handoff right side going nowhere, as stopped for a loss was Magwood. As in at quarterback is Ryan Messina, the freshman.
It looked like it was maybe Brady Gabrivosic on the tackle there. Probably not pronouncing that name correctly, but that was a great play to run that alley and stop the running back in the backfield.
Yeah, talked about both sides just throwing the reserves in here for the final drive of the game. Seen in the gun, 3 receivers, 2 far side, 1 near side, as jumping off on the play for the Belle Vernon Leopards was Ryan Kent, the freshman defensive end. Curdy Wade guarding on the near side as he is lined up against one of the Warrior wideouts. Cena in the gun. Hand off, that's Magwood. Cuts it near side, 40, spins down and is stopped short of the 45 at the 43.
Doppelhauer on the tackle, showing off what he can do on defense as well.
6-yard gain on the play, brings up 3rd and 1.
3rd down and 1 here for the Warrior offense. Ryan Messina, the 6'1", 163 freshman quarterback, gets the play from the sideline as the Warriors break the huddle.
You know, Belle Vernon's gonna take this win here tonight, but it would not shock me, depending on how seeding turns out, it would not shock me to see these two teams meet down at Acrisure Stadium in a couple weeks again.
Magwood tries to bounce it outside. He's stopped in the backfield. As going backwards is the Warrior offense again.
Leopards lost a 2 on a play, 4th down 4.
4th and 4 after the loss. Colton Lee on the stop. I think really the only maybe Belle Vernon starter besides Chase Raconen, I think, who seems to be, or that might be Lacarte still out at safety. Nope, that's Mertz. So you got Doppelauer's a regular, Diabre Lightfoot, and Colton Lee. Not many. Messina handoff, Magwood up the middle. Magwood trying to get there, and he's going to be about 2 yards shy. Turnover on downs, and all that's left to do is bring in most likely Tanner Stieber to take a knee and send this one back up 6 miles, down 51. It will be a 6 mile celebration for Belle Vernon, but it'll be short-lived. This is just one box. This is the conference championship. They know how close they were last year. They tasted it. They were at the then Heinz Field, and they got picked apart by Aliquippa. They want to get back there, and they want to prove they are a winner. And, you know, as much as this team wants it, all these guys that did it last year and that were there last year, you know how much Coach Matt Humbert wants that as well. You know, I think Humbert gets a lot of flack that he does not deserve. He is an outstanding individual, outstanding coach, and, you know, he's one of the best inside the WPL, in my opinion.
I absolutely agree with you on that. I say all the time, I think anybody who gives him too much criticism, they just quite frankly don't understand football.
Yeah, and I was talking to Jeremy at the half, and I said, you know, people want to criticize him a lot. He rotates 10 guys on his defensive line now. Remember when he got manhandled by Coach Bill Chirpak's offensive and defensive line that would rotate, and it wasn't the same 5-4 guys going both sides of the ball? He learned. He adjusted. And now you see what they do is there's the knee, and the 3A now runs through, the 3A Interstate Conference now runs through Belle Vernon as they knock the former back-to-back and 4 of the last 5-year champions off on the road. Belle Vernon's 3rd straight win against the Elizabeth Forward Warriors as they take it 48-14 as Belle Vernon. No issues here this evening. From start to finish, they rolled.
Yeah, I thought this one would be a little bit closer, but, you know, give Belle Vernon and Quentin Morton all the credit. Just a, you know, complete, really dominant performance. I do think these two teams, you know, seeding turns out, I do think these two teams have a very realistic chance to meet again in a couple weeks. Hopefully Elizabeth Forward can go back and watch the tape and learn from this one, and maybe you know, come up with a different game plan for next time, because I do think they will see each other again. If not this year, I mean next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely something the Warriors will now have to build on. Their season's not done. They have playoffs next, but Belle Vernon, the Interstate runs through them here in the Route 51 rivalry game. The Belle Vernon Leopards take it by a final score of 48-14. Domination start to finish. We'll take a break and come back here with the Highway Appliance Furniture and Mattress Player of the Game right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Belle Vernon and Elizabeth Forward brought to you by All Dry Services of Rostraver and Fay West. They're opening November 7th. It can serve a number of issues, including mold remediation, 24/7 emergency water and flood restoration, medical and trauma scene cleanup. For more information, visit myalldry.com. All Dry, we expect the unexpected. Planet Roof, Pittsburgh's top roofing company, goes above and beyond to give customers the best experience possible. At Planet Roof, we pay close attention to the quality of our work in your home. Our roofers are committed professionals with years of experience who will go above and beyond for all of our clients' needs. Because at Planet Roof, we love what we do. For more information, contact us today at 724-243-3297 or visit our website, planetroof.com. Marble Diamonds and Jewelry, a third-generation family-owned and operated business since 1964. Whether you are looking to propose, promise, celebrate, or surprise, Marbles has the expertise, selection, and price to make your shopping experience relaxed and easy. Visit our showroom located at 112 Pricedale Road in Belle Vernon or call us at 724-929-6633. Marble Diamonds and Jewelry, your journey, your jeweler. G-Force Athletic Club free after-school youth boxing program for ages 10 to 18, located at 338 Fallowfield Avenue in Charleroi. G-Force's certified USA boxing coaches provide training in amateur boxing, running, and weight training. G-Force also provide a positive environment and Christian mentoring for our rising generations. For more information, call 202-262-0584. Make Dogs Sports Bar and Grill your place to watch football this season. We have the Mon Valley's best seats in the house. 9 10-foot big screen TVs, wing specials every Sunday noon to 4 p.m., pizza and flatbread specials all day Saturday for college game day, Monday night football burger specials, and you can watch all the Thursday night NFL games here at Dogs in the Walmart Lowe's Plaza in Belle Vernon.
Bring together expert faculty, offer programs in high-demand fields, add in a few centuries of tradition. You might call it the future of higher education. We're calling it Pennsylvania Western University. We've combined the resources of California, Clarion, and Edinburgh to create a new way to educate, where opportunities are boundless and tomorrow is yours to define. Built on tradition, built for your future. Welcome to Penn West.
Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. The right brands, price, and advice since 1946. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress is the Mon Valley's choice for selection, service, and savings for over 75 years. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. You're going to like us a lot. We guarantee it. It was a battle for the 3A Interstate Conference Championship, and Belle Vernon did not disappoint after a failed onside kick recovery and a 15-yard penalty. One play, locks to Quentin Martin, 36 yards and a score. And on the ensuing drive, Belle Vernon would start deep in their own territory at their own 9-yard line. They would pick up a first down on 3 straight runs, and then Quentin Martin would go 80 yards to the house for the touchdown. 14-0 Belle Vernon at that point. And after a onside kick, which was recovered by Potts, a fake punt attempt by the Warriors forced another turnover on downs. And one more play, 38 yards. Locks found Jetico on the wheel route, making it 21-0. And after Belle Vernon stopped the Warriors on downs again after Zion White overthrew a wide open Zach Boyd, which looked to be the Warriors' first touchdown. Johnny DiNapoli, a strip and a recovery of Quentin Martin, giving the Warriors great field position. Zion White would find Kelly Rush down at the 5, and they would finish it off with a 5-yard touchdown pass, making it 21-7 as Belle Vernon led by that score at the end of the first. Belle Vernon would make it 28-7 as it was a 3-yard run on 4th and 3 by Martin, keeping the drive alive, which would lead to his second rushing touchdown of the game. The Warriors would answer 29-yard pass from White to Rush, setting up the 28-yard touchdown pass from White to Zach Boyd. Zach Boyd would go over the 1,000-yard mark with that touchdown pass, but Quentin Martin and Belle Vernon, they would continue to pow on one more touchdown for the Leopards after a 40-yard return by Doppelauer on 4th and 7. Locks would go up top to Martin through the air again, this time from 28 yards out. making it 35-14 at the break. And Belle Vernon, they would add on in half number 2. One play, it was a fumble leading to a 47-yard Quentin Martin spectacular touchdown run, and Adam Cart interception in the second half, and eventually Belle Vernon would get a garbage time score by Cole Doppelhauer. 48-14 your final score, and Quentin Martin, with all the stars on the field, he shined the brightest, and he is your Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress player of the game. 3 times on the ground, 2 times through the air. Not much more you can say about a guy like Martin.
No, absolutely. It was a Quentin Martin show tonight. Just ripped off big play after big play. Elizabeth Forward unable to contain him. He definitely made the difference in the game.
Absolutely huge game for Martin. Belle Vernon takes the 3A Interstate Conference Championship and most likely locks up the 1 seed in the 3A bracket. The Warriors most likely dropping down to the number 3 seed inside the 2A bracket as Belle Vernon dominates on the road, and now they are the top dogs of the Interstate Conference. Both teams will find out tomorrow what their playoff path looks like, most likely both starting with a first-round bye. We will find out as Belle Vernon victorious here this evening. Spencer, appreciate you hopping on the broadcast. A lot of fun here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Congrats to Coach Humbert and the Leopards, and then to Coach Colati and the Warriors. Go watch the tape, learn from this, and you still got the playoffs ahead of you. All of your goals, WPIL championship can still be right in front of you. You just got to bounce back from this one.
Both teams, again, find out their playoff destinations tomorrow. We'll be back in action on the network tomorrow as we go to North Catholic, as we'll have Thomas Jefferson and Montour in the WPIAL 3A volleyball quarterfinals. But until tomorrow, on behalf of my broadcast partner, Spencer Lynn, I'm Alex Line saying thanks for tuning in here this evening from Elizabeth Forward High School. Your final score, Belle Vernon 48, EF 14. This game brought to you by All Dry Services in Rostraver and Fay West, as Belle Vernon, the new kings of the interstate, and Quentin Martin, the king of kings for the Leopards here tonight, as he was the top dog of the Belle Vernon offense all evening long. Your final score one final time, Belle Vernon 48, Elizabeth Forward 14. Have a great rest of your Friday night and a great weekend, everybody.